the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. Well, great songs on your radio 107.5. This is Spoon FM, and now coming up very shortly is the program Spoon Talk, Liberia's premium platform. The platform that sets the agenda for discussion in Liberia. So very shortly is the program Spoon Talk right here. You from Funjama, Maryland, to Spoon. Yeah, to Spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to Spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon radio, to Spoon. Yeah, to Spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon TV, Spoon Entertainment. Go to the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
From the CEO, stand tongue with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah,
yeah, Tuto Spoon. What, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? This one you back today. School TV. School. This one you back today. School. School TV. School. Bala. Skiddy dabado. School TV. School entertainment. Kua. Bese kua, kutuleo. Kua, kutuleo. On the spoon. Yes, information. On the spoon.
Welcome to the program tonight, Spoon Talk, your number one program in Liberia. It doesn't matter where you are now monitoring us. Let me say welcome. My name is Baron. I've been joined by Jeans Goody Flumbo and the rest of the panelists. Good evening, Jeans.
Good evening, Chairman Baron Brown. How do you do?
I'm okay. How are you coming on?
I can't complain. I only had to sit for 3 hours, I think 30 something minutes, 32 or 33 minutes to listen to His Excellency Dr. George Manning Weah to deliver a beautiful speech today.
On a serious note, I was so exhausted, so I would not waste my time, in monitoring the president.
I know you are not good at sitting, bro. I understand your point.
No, I'm good at sitting, but I just don't like to listen to things that are so much, repetitious. I have so many things to do. So when I'm in a conversation with an individual, I just don't waste my time on these things. But again, I took most of my time and I monitored the president, and there were so many things he said. I know we'll discuss them. But you look okay. Dr. Richardson, good evening.
Yeah, hello. How you doing?
Not bad.
That's good. Yeah, everybody got just hanging there, right?
Oh yeah.
That could they can say God money us.
God money us.
Kev?
Yeah, Kev.
Kev on the phone. He's still consulting with the team from back home.
I beg you. Don't start a show like this. I beg you.
Yeah, I tell you, Dr. Richardson, I tell you something serious. They tell you, Kev, they give him the speech, the key points. You know, you are an instructor. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Good,
okay.
I know what you're talking about.
You have to highlight those places what the president talk about. Yeah.
Oh,
the speech is okay. Watch and see when Kev comes on. He will give all the points.
Fire. Yeah, wait, let me just find. I'm trying to find my other laptop over here at the show for today, and then I can welcome our audience. But as I look for it, I want to welcome all of you to Spoon. This is where you'll be able to get information to make informed decisions. This is why we are here. Oops, sorry. This is why we are here. To speak about Liberia. I know Liberia runs through all of us. It's a country that we love dearly. And so when we come here, we want to look at information from different perspectives, different lenses, different walks of life. And so we give that information to you so that you can sort of process it, marinate it, and be able to make better choice for our country. Some of us have very strong positions on some things. Again, that's, you don't have to take it, but that's how we will present today. So welcome all of our viewers here today. Baron's here with us. Good day. Kev is here. We're going to make it a great show. We strive to do that. We take um, time out of our personal activities. Like today, guys, I had a personal matter that I had to attend to this morning. Ran back home. I had to watch my grandbaby. He's 2 now, so he's at the age where he's no longer just laying down, sitting down. He wants to be engaging. So I realized today that I cannot just sit home and do work like I used to do when he was younger. So today, me and his mom talked about it's time for the boy to go to daycare now. 'Cause we can't do nothing. I can't do nothing at home. So I'm gonna be. I'll make the sacrifice to be here for the next couple of hours, and I'll be working late tonight, probably until 2 o'clock this morning. The next morning to make up time for me being here. So, Kef Hassan, you still looking?
No, I'm fine. Just doing some family stuff that was straightening up in the back.
Okay, is it okay for me to welcome our guests here? I'm still looking to find uh my other schedule, my other show that has all the names here. I know I can go to the comment section here, but I just like to go from the just give me 1 minute. So before we even do that, what's going on in the country, guys? Maybe you guys can, as I'm looking, you guys can borrow. You
Yeah.
want to tell what anything else? I know we had a big day
Well,
today.
so far we have 3 trending issues in the country. In his sermon yesterday, Senator Prince Johnson he described the we are led government as Saul, SAUL, as Saul, and he also accused the government of murdering Melvin Eller, the 4 auditors yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, and while he was preaching, he made those revelations yesterday while preaching, and he said, "On no prevailing circumstances, he's going to support George Weah's re-election." So yesterday he made that identical pronouncement, and the National Patriotic Party has also said that in a statement that was released, that is not going to do business with the George Weah's administration, neither to affiliate with the CDC.
What?
Yes, yesterday, and I also sent that communication to Tommy Lee George. He has that, and I hope you also read that.
Well,
Wow.
Barrow, you mean the entire NPP or just a portion
My
of
man,
NPP?
I'm telling you something. The entire MPP, and I hope it is not easy. So the MPP has also joined Senator
No,
Prince Johnson.
Barrow, I beg you, stop that
Okay.
one there. You can't be saying that. The vice president can be with the president, and you say NPP said now,
My
then
man,
stop.
we'll read the communication. We'll have the communication ready. It's a
No, that
trending
one,
issue.
that youth group, man, that youth group.
No, it came from the party. Tommy Lee George was a reader. It came from the party.
Anyway,
And
when it comes
the president address is also a trending issue. I know some of you guys follow what happened today, some of the things that the president said. So basically, those are trending issues in the country. From the MPP, the sermon of Senator Prince Johnson, and that of the president.
who signed the communication?
Okay, let me see this. The communication was signed by 1 minute. Now I have it. Okay. The communication was signed by the secretary, Reverend D. Leonidas Jate. He's the Council of County Chairperson, the MPP. He signed that.
Oh, Council of
County Chairpersons, the MPP.
Okay, basically, let's see what they're going to say. But at least CDC has a breathing space because I'm not hearing the name that I'm supposed to hear. All right.
So Dada Richardson, that's it.
Yeah, that news, oh, that way let Tony comes and read it so we all can hear it proper, like Google. That
And the accounted chairpersons, they are the
yes.
one holding the party. Anyway, that doesn't go ahead.
But yeah, but good day. I know it's shocking, it's surprising, right? Was here what Kev have to say later on, but good day. You got anything on your end? You heard anything?
I'm speechless.
You speak something gotta make you speechless.
I did not expect this. Imagine the watchdog was sleeping and did not get that news.
Yeah. But you
Well,
asked a great question, good day, which is the vice president's party, right?
Yeah.
That's
And
what is
and
surprising.
I think
So
I'm
how they gonna
speechless.
how they gonna do this? Yes, maybe someone, maybe Kev can answer for us or add to this. If vice president is aligning with CDC, and then the NPP party is saying that they are not getting in the coalition anymore.
Yeah.
For now, I don't know if that's going to carry out until October 10th, but we know that it's for now. This is what's going to be happening. So it's big news. Well, I'm sure Tomlin's going to discuss it when he gets here. Kev, I'm going to go into recognizing our viewers. I don't know if
Oh,
that.
okay. I wanted to talk. All right,
Oh,
go
no, go ahead, and then we can do that.
ahead. You had chance to watch PYJ service yesterday?
I saw a little bit of it. Yes.
If you watch that, you will know that CDC is in trouble.
Yeah. But what I thought, James, why were you waiting when they would come and talk about it? I'm sure that's on the agenda today.
Yeah, we are gonna. I said
We want to talk about NPP stuff. We want to talk about PYJ stuff. I saw the first part, and he made an interesting argument that we can dissect a little bit about, especially. Yeah, I'll hold it. I want to say something, but I'll hold it. Kev, did you want to say anything before I go on to just welcome our viewers?
well, let me say hi to everybody on the platform. Uh, I don't know if Chairman Barron is in some kind of wall, but you can get happy all you want. The MPP is part of Coalition for Democratic Change, so you can spin all you want to spin. You see, if I were on the opposition side, when I hear some of these things, I will get angry because they're making the opposition will get complacent. They say, "Ah, man, the CEC is breaking down. We let's just relax." And once you, Dr. just saying, let me flow now. Okay,
Yeah,
please.
sorry, go ahead, Flo. Sorry.
Let's do that. Let's do that today. If you bring up the kind of message and then start saying it out there, then you kind of fooling the people. The standard bearer of the NPP, or say the leader of the NPP, is the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. And you see a face with the president all over. Then you come here with this kind of joke. That's a joke, man. Don't do that. That's a joke. Instead of Prince Johnson.
Well, wait now, Kev, can we hold a thought so we won't go into the discussion? We just brought it up. I know we want to talk about it more. Is that possible?
Well, I just want to brush it up the way you guys brush it up. I'm not going
Okay,
to deep.
no problem. I actually stopped James from talking.
No, we're not going too deep. I just going to
Because there's three topics. First, the State of the Union.
yeah. But
President.
at this moment, go ahead and read
No,
it.
go ahead. Finish up. I don't want to hear myself again. I'm trying to have a good mood today. I want to be positive about many things today. So what kind of argument you have tonight? Me, I'm trying very hard. So go ahead.
you're right. Go ahead. Go ahead and read the names so we can finish with that quick and get into business.
Exactly. Let's take care of like
Yeah,
some
that
general
was
things.
yeah.
So today we want to welcome our viewers. As I often say, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm going to say, is that it is because of you that we are here. We appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to be here with us, to learn about Liberia, to filter information, to make informed information, informed judgment about issues that are concerning Liberia. Liberia is our country, and we all have something to say about what is going on in our country. And this is the beginning. This is the start of your conversation with what is going on in the country. So I'd like to welcome, and I'm not going by any particular order. I'm just, calling names here. Philip Bala, I'd like to welcome you. Thomas F. Bundle, I'd like to welcome you as well. Truck Francis Paul, I want to welcome you. Alex Walker, I want to welcome you. Joshua B. Kamasa Wesley, thank you so much. We're going to welcome you to the program. Lucretia B. Do Nimle, I know B, I think it's how you say that name. Lucretia Nimle, welcome to the program. Mohammed Sandy Karoma, welcome to the program. Abraham A. Kamara is watching from Dubai, UAE. We got Dubai in the house. Thank you so much. Augusta Tarso is watching from India. Thank you so much for watching. Kamu Fofana is watching from Philadelphia, I believe so. And Decanty J is also here. Decanty, how are you doing? Momo Nelson is here. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure my thing is going so fast. I want to make sure that I get everybody. Alexis Kwame is watching. Chris Wian is also watching. Yaya Kamara is watching. Magdoshas Musa, he says, good afternoon. Seku Sherrod is watching. Highly Blessed Kokulu is watching. Archie J. Kai is watching. He says, hi. Seku M. Sherry says, you're welcome. Patrick Patrick Ware, sorry, Patrick, I know I'm not pronouncing the R in your name correctly, but welcome. Lufa Nima is also watching. Boyman Passaway is watching the show. Eric Kumi is watching. Maryland, he says. Maryland in the house here with Kev. Alfred Say G. Mamena Dule is watching. That's a long name, Alfred. Okay, just Alfred. How you doing? Moses J. Flomo is watching. Atunia Scissor is watching. Emmanuel B. Francis is watching from Banjo. Yeah, Banjo. I miss that place. Going towards Broadway area. That's my second neighborhood. Benjamin K. Blama is watching from Kanta. Hello to all the people in Kanta. We say hello to you. Nice place to be. Kota Road, straight from Morovia. I can take you to Kanta in about, an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe. Lawrence Peters is watching. He's watching from Lee Rehab Road, right near EW Road there, near the president and the vice president's area. Thank you for watching us. Want to say hello to all the people in the rehab area. Hello to the people in ELW area. Stephen Stanley Carr is watching from Kigali, Rwanda. Rwanda is in the house. India, UAE, Rwanda. Wow. And we also have UK. The UK is in the house as well. I missed your name there. And Jeremiah Wimi is watching from Nizo Community. Nizo Community. Nice, Jeremiah. Nice. Great to have you here. Watching from Spain is Joseph Tamba. Spain is in the house. We have UAE, UK, India, Spain. Harper, Maryland is also in the house. Ganta in the house. Cyprus, Greece is in the house. Minnesota is in the house. My cousin here told me he very long time told me he watching from Kawa. I beg you, cousin. Perry City is watching from Disco Hill, Liberia. Where Disco Hill? The thing went too fast. I didn't even see it. Well, you can please tell us. Fanny G. Johnson is watching from Totmansburg, Bumming Hills. So that's really great. Next, Nixon is, John Colley is watching from Morovia. Musu Faduama is watching. Abraham Kruma is also watching from Freeport. All of those who are working in the Freeport area, I want to say thank you. I'm going to stop here. There's more and more of you that are here. We just want to thank you for being here. The thing is going really fast, which tells me a lot of people are still coming in and making their comments. It's a great opportunity to be able to make comments and watch at the same time. I sometimes wish I had this kind of function in my class where my students could be making comments as I teach. It will be interesting to read later. But yeah, we are today. Today is Monday, where we are. It is a very cold day in this part of the world. You have to wear a winter jacket to go outside. I think it's some area it is 30-something degrees. I'm in not too far from the Philadelphia area. I want to give a shout out to the Eagles fan. The Eagles won the preliminary step to go to the Super Bowls. So Super Bowl, I'm sorry. For those of you who are familiar with football, I'm not so much. I only watch it because my husband watches it, and he is a Steelers fan, so I wasn't into it too much. But I don't know, Kev, you into sports? Do you have anything to say about the Super Bowl? I'm sorry. I don't know why.
It will be a great Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. It will be a very, very.
So who go in there again?
Philly and Kansas City Chiefs.
So some amazing fact that I heard today is the first time 2 Black quarterbacks are going to the Super Bowl. Is that true? You know that? I heard that.
The quarterback. He look like Spanish.
Yeah, man, Kev, get a guy and get it. The guy black blood. So I think that's an amazing thing. It's about time. You know, usually you get in the quarterback position seem to be reserved for people who are non-black. So I believe that is about time that we have 2 Black quarterbacks going to the Super Bowl. So shout out for Cancer. You said Cancer. What are the Chiefs?
Yeah, the Chiefs. Yeah.
Kansas Chiefs and then the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. All right, guys. We are here. I saw Tomalin was here, but then he left. So we'll begin the discussion. Let's first start. We'll make the President's State of the Union last because I think there's a lot to be said about it. So maybe we can first begin the conversation with what was presented to us earlier, which was the sermon that Prince Johnson gave in his church on Sunday. So in that sermon, from what I'm gathering from both James and Byron, please correct me as I speak.
The video is ready if you wanted to be played.
Oh, absolutely. Perfect. Let's go to the horse's mouth itself. Yes, please put that video up.
I'm coming.
Honorable assistant, let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
If I had a gun right now and gave you to shoot your own head, or if you had a gun, when you shoot your head, what will happen to you? You are dead. Can you shoot yourself on the head 3 times? So what happened in Tabitha? They lie. They told you to be told. Why can I sign your agreement? Do you believe I don't know some regime?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that the revenue officials, top people, beautiful cars, both of them married and left their wife and husband home, and they were called to review something that ended up in their death. And they come and say they were in the car having sex. Is there no hotel on Broad Street? If not, why don't you go to Happy Column? Do you believe, church librarians, that they were truly in the car having themselves? I would say it's a lie. As a man of God, ordained by God to preach the gospel of truth, I cannot back wrong to go and sign the agreement. will go on and on. My wife, my beautiful wife, uncle, son, grandma, and 2 others were sent for by St. Moses and allegedly killed them and said they drowned. No investigation. Nothing happened. Princess is from our home. They came up, put a body in our compound. No investigation. Sorry, Regime. I see these things. I do my own security analysis. I've been trained by the West and locally 26 years of training. I see these things. It's too glaring. It's too glaring to say somebody took money and fired himself 3 times. It's too glaring. What will encourage me if I even wanted to stand? Is it money? No. So those who are talking, Prince Johnson is just talking so can they money to laugh.
Okay. So, interesting sermon. I want to so good day. What are your thoughts about the sermon? And then we'll go to Bar and then Kev and then Tomalin. Tomalin, want to welcome you to the show. I apologize for not recognizing you earlier. I saw you came in and went out as I was recognizing others. How are you doing today?
Continue. Let me pick this one.
Yeah. Kev, Tomalin, how are you?
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. I think it would be the best thing first. We'd like to do the president's speech. Since today was the main issue of the day.
Okay.
And I said the president's State of the Nation, and then from there we can discuss Senator Johnson later on.
Okay,
And for program note, take it facing with. My daughter getting mad. As program note, lowest. Oh my God. Program note, we have Honorable Koluba. You know, something dramatic took place today at the State of the Nation. Representative Yeke Koluba caused some stir there, and we'll have him for a couple of minutes on the show today to find out what was going on and why he did what he did. But the president, delivered his State of the Nation. His according to him, his last for this term, 3 hours, 23 minutes. He spoke to the Liberian people in the world and giving them the agenda of his of the coming year and also for his past accomplishments and deliverables. So we would like to analyze the speech today, find out. He said the state of the Liberian nation is secure, is safe, is sound, and strong. But we always join in to analyze to see what the president's speech and message today to the nation is on point. Some people have different interpretation of what they heard today and what they saw today. But just welcome. But so we'll talk about his State of the Nation, then Senator Johnson, and so forth. So
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense, especially if we have Yeke coming in.
Yeah. So you guys, let's continue. Let me get in touch with. Let me take some calls quick from then I'll get back to you guys quick. Okay, but the reason you can carry on there. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's begin with the president's speech. I want to make a disclaimer here. It was a long speech. I didn't get to fully listen to it. I am waiting for the written version, which I tend to understand and process better. But having said that, I will reserve just the brief part that I listened to. I will reserve my opinion about that brief part that I listened to until later on when everybody who have thoroughly digested the president's speech. I'll probably have something to say later if I get the written copy. So I want to just start with Yes.
I get one traumatic event that took place. I don't know whether you wanted it to be played.
Okay.
No, listen, Dr. Richardson, Dr.
Yeah.
Richardson, let's start it. Let's do it within order that we have. James, it's not dramatic thing. Yeah, event we talk about.
Can I play that already?
It will come late. It will come late. Let's try in order. You put something out.
Is that regarding Yeke?
Nah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what's the discussion? What you start the discussion with?
I went back and changed the order to begin with the president's speech.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Recommendation by Tamalin, because we have Yeke coming on, and I don't want Yeke to come on too late because of data issues and all of this stuff. So that's why we kind of flip things around a little bit.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Okay, so so should we wait for Yeke to come good day, or should we play Yeke's thing now?
No, yeah, go ahead.
That would give an analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already said. Kev, tell us your opinion. What did you think of the president's speech? Because you are here. That's usually the order we use. What do you think?
Are you talking to? You come to
Yes.
me first.
Yes,
okay.
we analyzing the president's speech right now.
Okay.
Go in the order of presentation.
That was excellent, Dr. Richardson. But when you listen to the speech, I think it's one of the most powerful speech that in my lifetime among president in Liberia hit everything powerful, and I think that the only way you would criticize that speech if you just a simple opposition, we understand that's the position of opposition, want to criticize. Most of the time the opposition don't look for solution, don't try to add solution. They will criticize. But I can tell you this, it's one of the best speech we as a country will ever listen to. Everything, unless people want to just criticize. But we'll go into in the depth of some of the things, but one of the best, powerful that I can tell you.
Kev, so that's your initial reaction. That's kind of what we're starting with, initial reaction. And then if you feel like it, you can go into some of the depth of the speech as well.
Yeah, if we go into it, you talk about and healthcare, you talk about education, you talk about everything. A lot of people will talk about the pillows, but he went through everything. He said, I just want to listen to people who want to criticize, and let's see what they're criticizing about. But when you listen to the speech, I don't see anything you will count and say, that's not true. That's not true. So I want to hear, let somebody come to me and say, oh, the president said the Bapolu Hospital, we talk about healthcare now, it's not true. River said it's not true. All the things that he's saying, so we can argue on it. Again, I want to hear people saying what they can do better than that. Maybe you will tell us that the opposition will tell us that they will build 200 bedroom from the 100 bedroom hospital in Bapolu, in Rewase. Tell us that. Don't tell us and just criticize. So let me hear from the other guys. But I believe that everything the president said, let somebody challenge it. I put it out there, challenge some of the things, and let's go into the debate.
Okay. So, Tamalin George, we're going to go on to you. Do you have any thoughts and opinion about the president's State of the Union today? Tamalin, we can't hear you.
Yeah, okay. You hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the president today, he fulfilled his constitutional obligation of under Article 58 of the Constitution to present the State of the Nation, explaining the expenditures and income of the country and the state of the country economic position, and also his legislative agenda for the ensuing year, and bills that was passed, and projects and his accomplishments and so forth, and challenges that he received. But to be honest with you, yes, is the president. He mentioned that his sixth and was his last so now for the term. But you agree that it was more like a campaign speech, campaign. The president was in campaign mood, because you saw it from the beginning of the building up to the State of the Nation. They had people dressed up in regalias of the CDC, all in and coming with battle cry and so forth. Come in, and I've witnessed campaigns. I witnessed State of the Nation address from Samuel Doe time. So I know I witnessed Samuel Doe, I witnessed Charles Taylor, I know I witnessed Ellen. I've been able to live to see all these giving the State of the Nation addresses, but today the president was in a campaign mode. You saw the cabinet was on his right, and they were there cheering. At each time he spoke, they would cheer, and the other members there too were cheering. And at the end, you saw at the end of the speech, in fact, when it came to the place of to recognize America, for some reason, the president decided to give the special recognition to the U.S. government and try to give a special attention. Perhaps the American ambassador was present and other diplomats were there and so forth. But it was more and more like a campaign speech, and he was trying to make a compelling case to the Liberian people that he should be given another 6 years mandate. At the end, he said, "You will see me in your villages. You will see me in your neighborhoods and so forth. I'll come to your counties, asking for another more 6 years, and so forth." But with all that, we will be expecting the opposition to respond. We expect the ANC, the Unity Party, the Liberty Party, and other parties that are in opposition camp to respond to the President's State of the Union. And with the President spoke for 3 hours, 23 minutes. I mean, at one point we saw he was tired, so forth, but he had to make that case because it's the last speech given on his term, and he wanted to make sure that he had attention of the country, because when you're giving this speech, one of the important speech the president gives every year is this particular SONA. The country is with the entire majority of the country, they're watching the speech, the international community watching the speech, so he had a bullet puppet, he had to make his case. And if he's a supporter, you will say that he did a good job. If he's not a supporter, you will criticize that he didn't he didn't hit a home run. But so far, that's how I look at it.
Thank you, Tamerlane. You heard Tamerlane's opinion about the State of the Nation today. I want to then go on. I actually want to welcome Honorable Yeke Koluba to the show. He was actually there. It would be great to get his opinion. But Honorable Yeke, let me go to Dr. Peabody before we then come on to you. Well, we'll go on to Kev and then come on to you. Okay, is that okay with you, Honorable Yeke? Okay, good.
Yes, it's okay with me. It's okay with me.
Thank you. Dr. Peabody.
Good to see everybody, and it's good to be back on the show. I actually want to say that I listened into the speech, but at some point I really did not understand what was being said, to be honest. But one thing I said last week that the president talked about, he talked about the press freedom, the act that was created. And I think to some level, I agree with that part, that he did talk, the press have a lot of opportunity and freedom in Liberia, but the speech was just too long. And I really could not continue. It was just too long. I really did not understand a lot of stuff that was being said. I think there was a lot of struggle there by the president in really getting the information across. It was really a lot of struggle. So honestly, I had to just not listening, and maybe I would like to read the script more, and maybe I'll have a better. But I struggled really to understand, and it was too long. And then the president himself struggled in the presentation. I think whoever wrote the speech, I said it again last year. I said, please don't make the speech long. It did it very long, and let me say, the presentation was difficult for me. That's what I think.
Thank you, Peabody, for your. Peabody says the presentation was too long for him. Tony and George have mentioned that the president kind of was presenting a campaign speech as opposed to giving us a significant updates of what did he accomplish during the past couple of years. So it was more he provided evidence such as the people, the way how he had some people dressing and how they came in. So at this point, I want to welcome Honorable Fagon to the show. But at this time, we're going to go to Kev Hassan, who's going to, again, give us his thoughts about the speech. Then we're going to go to Yeka Koluba, and then we'll also ask Mr. Fagon to give us his thoughts and opinion about the speech. So, Kev, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Richardson. This speech had everything in there you're looking for, from healthcare to education, to the economy. And, President even quotes, when we get the speech, we'll get the actual quotation from the IMF on how the economy is, revamping, how the economy is stable. We are not at a high risk anymore, moderate. So we are saying that the direction of the country is moving forward, it's getting better. The plane is steady. It's up in an attitude that not there yet, but it's not down. It's steady, and we go in there, and that's why we need. It's important to re-elect this president because of stability. Because of stability in our economy, because of stability in security, because of stability. And imagine a civil servant getting pay raise. Those folks that went down are going up now. They're going up. So you see, nobody can criticize our people for getting pay raise. So you see, we are heading somewhere. We are going somewhere. One of the thing with an opposition who oppose this president will look for something, and they will turn it around. So folks out there, just open your ears. You will see people will turn the good thing into bad thing. That's what some politicians do. So that's what they're there for, to swing it anyway. But just listen to the speech and understand that when the president talk about the 100-bedroom hospital is there, you can drive there, you can see it. When the president talk about stability in our economy, imagine from 30%, and
Okay,
nobody will dispute that. When the
government, sorry, Kev, just 1 minute. I just want to be mindful of the time so that all of us can have the opportunity to speak. So
thank you.
Everybody have at least 2 to 3 minutes. Okay.
You're right. The president talk about. Everybody remember when the president came to power, a lot of people thought the economy was stable from the past government. I say a rude awakening when the president met what the government meant. And some of us know that. You saw how things were all over the place. But through the vision of this president, it becomes stable from where this country, when the president met this country, to now.
Okay.
So with time, we're going.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate you going to it. I want to hear more about your stability. Honorable Koluba, you were there.
I'm here.
I'm looking forward to you telling us, your views. How did it go for you? I believe James has a tape. I want James to play the tape before you speak, if that's okay. James, can you put that tape?
I'm gonna take you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Honorable Kaluba. Can you tell us what's going on over there in that clip, and then you can.
I didn't see what was going on. My internet went bad.
Okay, it was the one where you are doing you are saying muya muya, and I couldn't really hear what you were saying, but you had gotten that starting.
Let me say Happy New Year. Let me say Happy New Year to all.
Oh, yeah, bro, you can't look for you. I know where play your air. You like, bro, we call you, we'll find you. Me and you see me call you, we'll find you. We'll find you. I see, okay. We'll find you anyways.
What wrong, that people that you vest?
Yeah, what a problem. I'm looking at our son on the other side there, so that's why.
Let me say Happy New Year to all of you people, and say Happy New Year to Honorable Kev. Where's Kev Hassan? Honorable Kev Hassan, let me say Happy New Year to you. So, the President's State of Nation address. Some of us went there purposely because today was the last day for the President's State of Nation address, and we needed to sit quietly to listen to him, so we can be able to listen to all what he will say. And that was when we got into John chamber, I raised up my hand, called for information. The speaker denied me, and I still made my presence felt. I told him, Mr. Speaker, this hall is not for cheering squad. Maybe he didn't understand from where I was speaking, but at the end of the day, he understood from where I was speaking. The president came purposely to convince us to run campaign. And at that point, I was also there running campaign for the opposition. Now that's why as soon as the CDC people come on, they start telling me, where you strong, where you strong. I wake up, I chant my battle cry for the ANC and the Unity Party. Because we did not go there for that. We had dignitary that went to that program to listen. But instead of the president telling what you want to tell, he started going to 2017, coming back. You have governed the country for 5 years. You don't know say what someone have been on pay. It is today that you want to get in your campaign mood to say we will have to increase the people's salary. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And it's sad to have opposition in the midst of seditions. Look, if I'm not being for the Liberian people, I'm going to join CDC tomorrow. I got very frustrated today. I couldn't get anybody to join me to campaign for the opposition. We have opposition people in the place. Nobody could join me today. I feel very bad. If I'm not being for the Liberian people, I will go join CDC. Tomorrow morning, I will join CDC. Because, for all to have a president that will come to address the nation, that's supposed to tell the Liberian people what you want to tell them, and talking about how he and myself from Born Mines, you know, bringing his head out low again, he and myself from Born Mines, these are all kind of thing. You know, I mean, I felt very discouraged today. I knew today they have been doing it for 5 years. 5 years. Anytime the president go address the nation, they will carry cheering squad. And when they purposely to become cheering squad for the opposition, and I was cheering squad for the opposition today. I had no regret for what I did. And I owe no apology to anybody for what I did. If I had an opportunity again, I would do it again.
So, Honorable Kolubai, we saw you saying "muya muya." What were you saying though? What were you saying when you were cheering?
I was saying "muya muya muya." Unity Party muya, ANC muya. Unity Party muya, ANC muya.
Okay, good. So you heard Honorable Kolubai, who said that he was there cheering for the opposition. He has concerns about the president saying that civil servants are getting paid, and he knows that these people, the civil servants, have not been paid regularly. So he was surprised to hear the president bringing that up in his speech. That's one of the highlights that he just told us. And he's also acknowledged that, similar to Tomlin George, that the president was running a campaign, and he tend to bring his own cheerleaders when he's coming. Honorable Fagon, can you please tell us your thoughts? I know you probably watch it. Any thoughts there?
Okay, I'll try to adjust my internet.
Oh, I was hearing noise.
Tomorrow, I think looking yellow with fungo. I think drinking looking yellow with fun.
Right, ginger ale, Sagon.
Ginger ale can fun this time, huh?
I think they'll be talking. Looking at the bad drink.
He blended the watermelon with lamb.
Yeah, get you for.
Anyway, good afternoon to all. You know, when Rodney said the emperor is naked, it's now really hitting me hard because he's my political leader and the head of my party. Liberia, you can Google it and check it, is about the size of the state of Tennessee. There are 50 states in the United States of America. And when the president gets ready to deliver his, what they call it, not State of the Nation address, but normally it's about an hour to an hour and a half maximum. For 50 states and the achievements of a great nation like the United States, with the population 10 times more, if you like 60 to 90 times more than that of the Republic of Liberia. My president spent 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours to deliver a State of a Nation address to a country the size of Tennessee. Secondly, my president, whoever wrote that speech, and I'm suspecting Samuel Tweed did, he loves to talk plenty. And so he wrote repetitive things instead of what we call in politics the economization of wordings. What the president delivered today, I could take the same thing, deliver the same substance, and make it 1 hour, 15 minutes. I challenge anybody. And at the end of the day, the president indicted himself over and over. I mean, legally indicted himself. Today, by acknowledging that 15,000 civil servants make below the minimum wage is an indictment. That's abuse of power And that's what? Labor abuse. I'm not here for somebody to tell me anything. The law say, not you or your policy. The law say you should pay me this. And you underpay me, and you admit to it, and then you tell the people you will put $6 million aside, hoping that they will put it there, instead of saying, by my directive, I have ordered the Minister of Finance to correct this with immediate effect. No, he still went to legislature to make appropriations for the reduction and the adjustments you made. Did you seek the approval to cut the people money? Now, why do you want the approval to put the people money back? And you did not give any specific time. Let me just not waste your time and just run you through a couple of things. You said quickly that the audit done by the GSC for 2021 will be given to the legislature in 30 days. Mr. President, do you recognize we're in 2023? We're 2021, and you touted that the regular budget year from January to December started in 2022. So as of January, why did you not report this GSC audit? I just will give you one more because I got a long list here.
Yeah, yes. We're going to go into it, Mr.
So no, I got a long list. I said I'll give you my last one. I don't want to take more than 2 minutes.
Thank you.
I don't want to take more than 2 minutes.
Oh, I said thank you.
Last night you said 15,000 employees had a raise, while 7,000 had an adjustment downward. Okay, 15,000 had a raise. 7,000 had an adjustment downwards. That's 22,000. You went on to tout 70,000 government employees. What happened to the other 22,000 minus 70,000? Don't worry, I'll wait. I think it should be 48. What happened to them? We can go on and on. I think the speech was disastrous for him and his re-election bid. I think it indicted him legally. I think Twitter did not serve him well by making him give a long speech wherein nobody will remember the substantive issues to be able to digest it, but rather they would nitpick the issues that matters most to them. I respectfully, partially submit on that note.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Facon. I'd like to, again, share my views, and then we're going to ask for reactions to some of what we are hearing about the speech from the panelists. I would probably come back tomorrow. I think tomorrow will also be a great day for us to, again, explore the speech, because we may have it in written form, because some of, I don't know if anybody has it in written form, but it was kind of long and challenging, especially when some of us have to work on this side of the world. And then on the other side of the world, people had to take time to filter what the president was telling them. So I think it was long. And in today's world, they ask you to give a speech, at least, attention span nowadays is 30 minutes. It would have been, an hour, 15 minutes. I'm agreeing that it should have been that amount of time. I think the economization of words, as Minister Facon said, would have been helpful. I was surprised that the president used a word. He said the macroeconomy of fundamentalism. And I saw people clapping as if they were happy that the president was able to pronounce macroeconomy fundamentalism. Okay. And so I was wondering, those are ways that an example of economization of words. Just
Dr. Richardson.
Yes.
People were not clapping because he knew what he was saying. He knew the definition. They were cheering because he was able to pronounce it and not make them shame.
Yes, that's what I sense. Honestly, I sense that, because I was like, wow, why everybody clapping? Because the man said macroeconomy or the fundamentalism of macroeconomy or something like that. He said, and then everybody was just cracking and saying, "Oh, you're strong, you're strong." I was like, I thought it was interesting. So hopefully, again, I want to go back to ask for your reactions. Kev, we'll start with you from what you just heard from the panelists. What are you thinking?
Well, before I go to my word, let me go towards. I got a message from the CEO. He praised the speech. He says the speech is good. The speech hit all sides, and the speech will resonate among the people. That was the CEO of Spoon TV World. So it's a good speech, and the speech hit all sides, and it will resonate among the people. But let me go to my listening to everybody. Let me go to first. Let me go to my brother and Fagon. I know him well. If Fagon can only pick about the pay and say, oh, okay, you don't pay them before, now you want to pay them, and the speech is too long, tells me it's a good speech. Tells me it's a good speech. If that's the only thing Fagon can take out of the whole speech that he listened to, because I know he sat there and he listened to
I
it.
think you heard me say because of time.
No,
I have a very
let me
long
finish
list.
now. Mama, let me finish now.
As the moderator, Kev, I'm going to say he had a long list of things, and he only was able to
of things, but because of time.
But Mama,
So,
let me finish.
Didn't do this to this platform,
Mama, let me finish now. Let me finish. I know Fagon. Fagon sat there watching our speech, and he took notes. Everything in front of him there.
That is true now.
If it were any smoking gun, he will hit it. But right now, because I said this, he's gonna go in there and take some good thing and twist it. I know him. I know him well. He will go in there and try to twist it now. Let me tell you, if any smoking gun were there, Fagon would hit it straight out. But the only thing he can take, the speech is long, and now he's saying, the people now they take pay, and the president should just step to where to sign it so they can take pay. So he okay with that. He just going around here trying to find something. So when you listen to that, you can tell that this speech, this speech was a hit. Good speech. Good speech. Everybody who listened to it, again, the CEO listened to it, he said it will resonate among the people. It's a good speech. You know him. You know the CEO. He will attack stuff. But he said it's a good speech and will resonate among the people. Listen to Yeke. All Yeke is saying, he go there for cabinet. Let me tell you something, my brother Yeke. When you listen to Congress, you see the American ambassador are there. If you listen to Congress here, the State of the Union, that's what they do. That's what they do. And you know that, Dr. Richardson, the other side will get up, they will yell, they will say, hey, that's what they do in America here. So what I saw today, including your protests, you can call it back. That's the beauty of democracy. That's the beauty. To see you can call it back, you can stand up and say anything you want to say in front of the president. Meaning, Dr. Richardson, Liberia, we are heading to the right direction. That's a beauty. You know what we used to do? We used to fire ourselves. But now, we can have an opposition go in the state of the nation and disagree publicly with the president, what international people are saying, and the president listen to him. That's a beauty. If anybody don't praise that, then you just want to make you just don't want to argue. On a judge manner, we are government. We have that freedom that we can speak. So then we don't go too much because of the time, Dr. Richie, you're saying. But if folks cannot criticize, cannot go into the speech and talk and what my brother Fagon said, that means it's a good speech. But let me say this. Lastly, Fagon going to go now and look for something. You see, what he doing? He's looking for something to turn it around. Yeah, don't be fooled by that. He trying to turn it around because he know I already called him out. He will try to turn it around right now. And I dare anybody to see what he will do next. Try to turn it around. Well, he ain't got anything to say. We're not hearing Dr. Richardson.
Kev, for the record, I want to say, considering that Stanton Witherspoon is not here today, I don't think anyone should be speaking for him. So for the record, I don't know if that's...
He authorized me. He authorized me to say it.
We don't have nothing written here from him.
No, but
so if he authorized you to say it, tell him to put it in text message. Let's put it up. Okay, I'm moving forward.
But that's a good one.
I don't want. I want. If anybody's going to yes, speak for ourselves. We're not going to speak for other people. So thank you very much. Honorable Yeke Koluba, Mr. Clef Hassan is saying that freedom of speech is alive and living in Liberia. That's why you had the opportunity there to call out the president during the speech and nothing happened to you. What would you say about that?
The president don't have any authority. He can't do nothing to me in there. We were in session. We were in session. He couldn't
do nothing to you in that country. You free man. You can say all you want to say. That's the beauty under the government. You're a free man, my man. Nothing. Nobody can do anything to you, correct? In Liberia. That's the Liberia we get now. No harassment, nothing. Good job.
So I can go ahead now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Look, the president never had any authority. Look, Dr. Richardson, 5 years people go in there with beret to be chanting battle cry. What are the men talking Sonny? They don't even understand. All they know, they make him pronounce the English. Whether he know the definition or not, they don't care. At one point in time, he started to stutter with his own voice. Now I walk out and say, I said, clap for the president, man. Because he started fighting on his own English to speak it. You understand? We will not have a president that will not deliver to the people. Since 5 years, it is today that you know that Silver not making the correct money. Since 5 years, the Falcon said, he has become an embarrassment. He's indicted himself. He shot himself in the legs for the president to admit. So that today, that was campaign messages. I don't want Silver to listen to that thing. That's not reality. We're passing around here with government officials, eating a lot of money, enjoying. That today we know that Silver not taking pay. They're taking less than $100. 5 years we run the country. 5 years. What can we show? The president did not say nothing over there for people to understand. They got some kind of drugs are coming in the country now. They call it Kus. Have people heard about Kus? The new drugs the children taking now, they call it Kus.
No.
Have people heard about it?
No. I hear about it yet.
In my mind, the president was under the influence of Kus. When you take that thing, you can stay 20 hours. And the new drugs are coming, bad than cocaine.
Wow.
Very.
You taking it too? You taking it too?
Yeah, I'm taking it. He and myself took it before we went to the program.
I see why you were standing up the whole speech. You
understand what I'm saying, Dr. Richardson?
I hear you.
The issue is let not be deceitful to our people. It is wrong. We agree. Look, I was told by Sedition said today, the only thing we're going to put today that to declare our intention. I say for today, say, yeah, I don't want to go with that, Richardson. But most often I sit in local opposition, setting and open will take the floor and running campaign with a beret. And opposition not do that. Opposition have become a disgrace to the country. Especially our lawmakers. You understand? You saw it. Someone is trying to cool me down. Somebody running campaign, I'm not running campaign. That place is not for running campaign. That place is not for battle cry. And I told them for each other to do, I can wake up and move from Saturday. I said, what I want to do today is what I will do. And I did what I wanted to do to show to our president, Ambassador Weah, that the girl that can stand up to in your absent and in your face. The SSPO of Vessel, that Richie said, I said, I saw the SS guy, they were very jealous for me. And the wrong thing that we're going to do. Because we are in session, if the speaker has a problem with me, he will tell the doorman or the sergeant and say, please tell Honorable Koluba we want perfect decorum in here. Or please escort the Honorable outside. Any SS men are going to touch me today. What was supposed to start in the country are going to start in there.
Wow. Wow. So Timberlane George, according to Kev, he said the president made some substantial statements towards the improvement of healthcare, education, and the economy in the country. I did notice a part where he was talking about how the economy.
But Dr. Richardson, sorry, but Kev did not tell us what the improvements were. You trying to help me?
No. I have a question.
He copy of the speech.
I have a question.
No, go ahead.
Yes. And the question is, which is then to go to Timberlane, is Timberlane, when you listen to the speech, did you hear anything substantial about healthcare, education, the economy? I know tomorrow we'll talk about it because we have digested a written copy. I want to say one thing. One caveat I want to make. The president kept on saying that, oh, we inherited a broken economy. We inherited a zero in our coffers. And my thought about that is we are just kind of finding out about this thing, this broken economy that he inherited. He's been saying it. And why didn't he audit, which is something that you say on this platform all the time, Timberlane? Why did you not audit the past government so we can know exactly what was the problem, where they were, and where we are right now? So go ahead, Timberlane George. Tell us, what did you hear?
Like I said earlier, the State of the Nation is one of the most important speeches a president will give every year. And he has the bullet pulpit. He had the attention of the Liberian people, the international community, our stakeholders, our partners, all watching at that moment. And every president, especially going for re-election, will take advantage of that moment and try to make a compelling and convincing case to why he should be given a second mandate. And I thought that he used it to his advantage today. He started to list the accomplishments, so forth. He talked about the rate being stable for 1 year, from 150 to 153 for a year. Talk about the legacy bank notes that was changed and the money coming to the country. Talk about the citizenship. I mean, he was tooting his the positive stuff that he felt he has done. And anybody would do it. President Sadi, she did it. Samuel Doe did it. Taylor did it. They will all do the same thing, try to use that occasion to make their case. And that's why the seditions were there in numbers, carried in the outside and so forth. But here's the point now. The opposition now. Now, I'm sure before I got on the show, I talked to an opposition person and they said they were already preparing their response for tomorrow. Okay. And what they're going to do, what they need to do now, take the speech apart and respond to it. Okay. Call it and tell the contradiction or whatever the case and wherever they felt that there was a need fact check, they come up with it. But I tell you the truth, Dr. Richardson, President Weah took advantage of the opportunity he had today, and he just went through it. At one point in time, you saw he put his speech aside. He started to talk like to the people directly. Try to talk, and it was all today about a campaign speech you're making. You're making that case that why is he re-elected? When he came to America, you saw what he did. He took a special time to say America is our ally. Anybody who go against America, you go against us. Making it clear. And he that was the job he had to do today, and he did what he had to do today for somebody seeking re-election and to talk to his base. His base was there, okay. And Representative Coliba said, he did something unprecedented. We have not seen happen before. Before the president could enter the hall, I think it was a motion, and can you tell what happened? Before, I know when the speaker called for the president to enter the hall to come deliver his speech, I think you an issue. Can you share with us, what happened at that moment?
You said they what?
Before, I think when the president, when Speaker Chambers called for the president to enter, I think there was a motion on the floor or something, and you call a point of information.
Yeah, I call the speaker. I call him up for information. The information I wanted to provide to the speaker was the House of Parliament. The president come to us is by constitution to come and tell us we represent the Liberian people. Now everybody can go, all the people in my district cannot go in the capital building. I was elected to go and represent the people of district number 10 to tell us what have you done for the Liberian people so we can listen, because member of the diplomatic corps will be there, our international partners, the ministers, they will give their pass to go in there. But instead, they carry the partisan hostess with beret. See, the money, I knew that what the people wanted to do. I knew that what they wanted to do. And that's why I called the speaker to order today and told him, Mr. Speaker, this place is not for cheering squad. And he didn't listen to me. He took it for a joke. By the time the post started, wow, waiting for somebody to say, President, we are trying to re-election. Then campaign start. As soon as they did that, I started running campaign for opposition. Because we were in our campaign mood. Everybody in the campaign mood. And the speaker refused to recognize me.
Yeah, I noticed that happened. When that was happening, I saw the American ambassador. I think they was apparently laughing, and the other diplomats that were there, I saw them like, I'm sure they were talking about what was happening, but it was a stare. And since I've been listening to State of Nation, the first time I will see that happen, since I'm at the whole time, I've been watching. First time seeing it, it was a stare though. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, Richardson, the president he used the occasion today to come and just toot his accomplishments and talk and make his case for re-election, and that's what happened today. But now there's the issue now. As I said, the opposition now, they have the choice. They have the onus upon them to respond to the president's speech and follow the contradictions which one is a fact and so forth. So we want to see the UP, we want to see the Liberty Party and the ANC, CPP, as they call themselves, want to see them come up with a rebuttal, respond to the president's speech. So we were looking up tomorrow also to see how they respond.
Yes. Just to announce, Mr. Alexander B. Cummins will be giving his rebuttal Tuesday, January 31st, which is tomorrow at 12 p.m. I just wanted to announce that, considering what you're saying. So want to go down to Mr. Fagon. I think you have some specific rebuttal to the speech, because you were telling me that Kev said that the president spoke about healthcare, education, economy. So I don't know, in your response, can you respond to some of those things? You don't have to, because we still have to digest the speech, but what are your points that you jotted down?
I don't have to respond to Kevin. I'm not going to do it. If your government give a speech and hours after the speech, you cannot even see it on the executive mansion website, it means they have to use front-end loader to just load something you can just copy or cut and paste. He himself said that they don't have the first sentence, which is some of the things we can talk about. Because during our time, these are some of the things we had to fight to do. Before the special.
So how you know I get a speech? How you know I get a speech?
Yourself said it. So if they now send it to you, that's why I'm saying you showing me your phone now. If you had a
speech, you didn't ask me. You just can't get it.
Like bring people right here listening, you will start picking inside and say you can read, but you never had it, and it's still not on your executive mansion website. So if the people, the government information arm don't have it and you have it, you have just disgraced them again. That you are the de facto information minister.
You can say anything. You can say anything you want to say, man.
But it's not fair to them now. Before I talk, let's be honest. They were supposed to talk for the government. They are being paid to talk for the government. You keep them in the dark. Then they give it to you. Then you stay right here. Then tomorrow now, they gotta go try to clean up mess.
They told you they ain't get it.
Oh, they gotta tell me. I can see it on the website for myself. That Benesi popping for my mouth or my ear get waxed. My eye get cut out. I can see, I can hear, I can talk. So okay, let me go to the question. I'm not answering Kev because Kev, I've not said anything that
that's okay. I was asking you to go to some.
No, it's not bad thing. He said nothing, so I can't debate anything. When he says something, I will debate it. But up to now, he said nothing yet. He just said the education and how you call that one, healthcare, how you call that one, the economic fundamentalism
Stop pronouncing that word. I was driving when I almost jumped in a pothole when I heard that word.
So imagine this. The president said, imagine my achievement. If COVID had not happened, what would have happened? That was his question. But one thing he said, government stop borrowing from the central bank. When you make that kind of statement that his government have stopped borrowing, it means they were borrowing. No wonder why the debt to their portfolio is at 1.9 billion. 1.9 billion.
That is an increase from Ellen.
So that's why I'm saying, what do we have to show for it? You are touting all these things. You must match expenditure with revenue or income at any stage. So yes, if you raise the debt, tell us what you did with the money. Then he goes on to say, look, listen, as a matter of fact, the one that was so alarming for everybody were all these figures he was giving in terms of how many millions of dollars they raised the revenue by this much to 740 million, which is up from last year, 721 million. And this was done through taxes. Who are you taxing? Who are you taxing? The people whose money you cut illegally as emitted by you? You emitted today. And that clip will play over and over. You cut my money, you raise taxes on me, and then you turn around, you raise prices on me. What did I do to deserve that? So again, if Kev comes up with specifics, he said inflation is down from 30% to single digit 7%. Okay, we'll give you that. Since it's down, the rate you touted today, that for the last 2 years, the rate has been around 150, 153. Go to a junction there even. The same people that achieve money, go to a junction 163. That's the rate. So again, when you're saying these things, Twe writes all these things. He comes up. If inflation is down from 30% to 7%, what is inflation? Few money chasing plenty goods, and it's down, but the people cannot see the money. Inflation is down. You talk about unemployment. Today he spoke about employment. For 5 years, what is our unemployment rate now? Our unemployment rate has gone from bad to worse. No jobs, no investments, and so forth and so on. Then we come back down to the very people you're talking about, the government employees. You said a lot about them. So what is economic fundamentalism? They said that the economy is strong, but no money, no food. That the economy is strong, but goods and services completely awkward. What is economic fundamentalism? We know about Reaganomics, but today we heard about economic fundamentalism, which in my opinion, as I close, suggests that economic fundamentalism means we cut your pay into half. We increase taxes on you. Then we turn around and carry a bag of rice from $15 to $25. Gasoline from $3.50 to $5.20. They rose from 30 cents on each gallon to 50 cents on each gallon. Economic fundamentalism means that all of our projects will be halfway. And we say if COVID had not happened, then we would have done better. Economic fundamentalism means that we can borrow our way, but not be able to account. We spend 11 million for rice that we don't see. And then we turn around, he talk about the social development fund. You all heard that today?
Just you're enjoying it, right? So he can get all the time he wants to get.
The social development fund he talk about means that in economic fundamentalism, social development funds means take the NEMA post 7.5 million, use it without accountability.
Okay.
Take the Bowman
Mr.
County people
Fasson, I'm
5
so
million,
sorry.
use it without accountability. And then when it comes to audit for the last 5 years, your government have not been audited. And if they have been audited, the legislature have got no clue as to what those audits are or where they are. And today you told them that 2021 audit will be given to them 30 days from now. Now, Vla.
That's fly. That is fly. We're gonna come back to you, Honorable Kev, and then also we'll go back to Honorable Yeka Koloba to respond. But I want to, we're getting the speech and the written form of the speech. Again, I think this is a discussion considering how long the speech was for us to have. But I want to just also emphasize something that Fagon said, and Kev, you can respond to that. And Liberian, but I want Liberian people to hear this: that our budget is now into $1 billion. Is that that's what I heard you say, right, Mr. Fagon? That was an increase from Ellen's government.
No, I said
he borrowed. He actually borrowed.
Our budget is increased to 740 million.
Yes, but
that
he borrowed.
He borrowed. Yeah,
he borrowed $1 billion.
Portfolio now is 1.9 billion.
Yes, that's what he borrowed. He borrowed about $1 billion compared to what Ellen borrowed in the past. That's kind of what I want Liberian people to think about. Because when I think about this, I think about if we're going to borrow large amount of money, we should have something to show for it. Even that's common understanding of budgeting. So in your response, and then also something I saw, something that I have mentioned here before, something that gets to me, and it relates to when I talk about the PSIP, the Public Sector Investment Project program that the president usually talks about. And in that PSIP, which is kind of new to our budget, this was never in the budget before. It gives the president discretion over more than $150 million that he can use. And in his speech, he said that the House of Representatives approved $10 million for a project under the county tour that he undertook. To me, I want to know, maybe the people that can let us know, what were these projects and how did they impact the people's life? $10 million, not easy money to me. That's serious development money. So that's what I'm thinking about, bits and pieces of the speech I was driving listening to it, and that's what's coming to my mind now. So Kev Hassan, you want to talk about what we have said and come up. Kev, I'm sorry, one more thing I want to add. Kev, in your response to you talk about a hospital being built in Bobolu, there was some of your specific. You talk about Rivercess, a hospital being built in Rivercess, and of course the newest hospital, Emirates Hospital, that was produced by UAE, the country. And so those are the things that you're saying that are progress in the country, right? And so even though some people are arguing that a building, a hospital is just not enough, they're arguing for more. So speak to us, Kev.
Well, Dr. Richardson, maybe if Fagon will make that clear, you should ask him that you said the government borrowed $1 billion from where? Because
I said the depth of the country.
Okay.
But why you can be here when we be talking? You just let them be listening to Twitter.
Can I, Dr.
When you have debt, that means you borrowed the money from somewhere, right?
No, you said this government, right? This government borrowed $1 billion.
This government increased the debt portfolio to 1.9 billion.
So you're talking about increase, talk about $1 billion. The thing is, sending message out there to the people, wrong information, it's kind of dangerous. And but Liberian people smart enough, they know that that's not true. Well, from this government. But Dr. Richardson asked me a question about health care. You see, one of the important thing you have to look in building a hospital in a certain location, because proximity to hospital very, very important in the life, in saving lives. Very, very important, because certain things is by time. For example, if somebody having had attack, you cannot leave Buffalo and come to JFK. It's too far. It's way too far. That person will not make it. So when we talk about improving healthcare, we're talking about the people in Buffalo now don't need JFK. That's what we're talking about, healthcare. When we talk about the oxygen tank factory in Bomi, that the people in Bomi don't need to come to Monrovia. That's improvements in healthcare. People from Riverside don't need Monrovia, because proximity in saving lives very, very important. Here, sometimes somebody make accident. The reason you can see helicopter come straight on the road and take that person, because it's the severity of the accident, and they have to go to the hospital immediately. And sometimes the nearby hospital set don't have that kind of equipment in there, so they have to fly to different hospitals. So when you see the person building a hospital, we'll talk about the Redemption Hospital that under construction. You talk about 150 pediatric units. That means that if you go have your child, you have bed. That's improvement. Then you sit down there, no bed, and maybe that woman have the baby right there. Because JFK, a lot of people say, why can't you improve JFK? JFK cannot take the whole country. So what the president did, he tried to go into the region, the Southeast, the Western region, and put hospitals there. So that if you're in that area, you don't have to come to Monrovia. That's improvement. You added 250 healthcare workers. You pay them, 19 doctors. You send them out to specialize in different areas. That's improvement in our healthcare. They were not there. You see, let me make it simple. If you come as a president or a government come, and you have one hospital and you make it to 3, 4, you are improving healthcare. If you add nurses, you are improving healthcare. So when you look at the Riverside, the Buffalo, the state-of-the-art nursing facility, then that is an addition. So from some of us practice, we can safely say to you that's an improvement. Dialysis center, that's an improvement in the healthcare. It was not there. And I can tell you this, Dr. Rizzi, Dr. Peabody, Tomlin, we all here, we had a good show on that. We had a lady who was all the way in Kenya to do dialysis. She felt homesick. She needed help. We host her on Spoon. The only place we have to bring her were nearby in Sierra Leone, because Liberia. So based on this thing, the president told the wise that no, our people cannot go Kenya, Sierra Leone, all the place just for dialysis. We will do it right in Liberia. That's an improvement on healthcare. We come to the economy. And I can tell you, Dr. Rizzi, the only person here who made that case were in there about the improvement of the economy is, if I go on, the tapes are out there. He was correct then, and he's wrong now. He playing politics now. He playing games now. I know him. He playing games now. He was there. He know how this, because he was day one minister. Day one minister. He entered. This man entered into an information ministry. Nothing was there. I know that. And he know I know that. And he know why I say I know that. Nothing was there.
You not got nothing to talk about his speech. We won't talk about his speech, my man. Leave for going to talk about his speech.
You understand that? No, it's part of the speech. What the president said, what he meant. That's part of the speech. So what we're doing now, we're going into what the president meant and what the president was talking about. So what the president told this country. So Dr. Richardson, when the president said he met a broke country, that's why nothing was there. Some officers, Dr. Richardson, there was no even turnover notes to say this is what. Nothing was there. So day one, this president met is zero. Imagine 514 million Liberian dollar. And Liberian dollar. Let me end with this. 514 million Liberian dollar with 7 million US dollar. When you do the exchange, everything is under 15 million US dollar. And guess what? To run a country, to pay everybody, you're talking about for months. You're talking about almost 30 million to 35 million just to run a government for a month. Dr. Richardson, if you in the government,
wrap it up so we can
if this government met less than 15 million, it's a broke. The government walked into a broke government. That's a fact. It's there.
What, Kev? I want to answer this. I have a rhetorical question.
It's there. So the records are there. So what we are saying is,
to Honorable Yeke, you know he's here.
What we are saying is, when the president made this country to now, we can safely say the country is stable.
Kev, it would have been so nice if the president would have answered why did he not audit or show us evidence to where he met
Dr. Richardson.
That's the argument. That's for the Honorable Yeke. Honorable Yeke, please speak, please.
The country is stable from where we met the country. The country is stable under the leadership of this person, and that's what he explained today. So we want to go.
Honorable Yeke, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the CDC spokesman to finish. Then I will speak.
Go ahead, Honorable Yeke.
Okay, look, that's a lazy argument. The people always say, oh, Manasari did not leave nothing. Manasari said she left money. So to prove Manasari wrong, why you can't
You're a lawmaker.
Okay, please give Honorable Yeke time to speak. Just write down your lawmaker. Please write down.
Let it honorable talk.
I beg you, let's respect our guests now. Let's write down your thing.
You're a lawmaker. Don't say anything. Tell us how much were there. You should know. You're a lawmaker.
Honorable Koluba, please speak. You are protected.
Everybody, like I'm saying, Kev them do not have nothing to say. But I don't blame them. I blame the opposition who don't want to come together. That's what you see them, they jumping up and down, jumping their way and jumping their way. I can tell you for sure that you often lose Prince Johnson and his supporters because you're lie to the people. Ambassador, we are only bet them now. By the time he get there, Ambassador, we are a strong dictator. Anything he tell you today, you must see daylight before you tell him money. Let me tell you the truth today. And the people have understood everything about him. They don't trust him. You and somebody going to back him. You croak the person. Is this the kind of thing he want to do? Oh, we made the country empty. We made Madam Sadi says you created Madam Sadi 85 or 90%. Then you say you made the country empty.
That was for peace. Peace. That's for peace. Corrected. That's for peace.
Is Ambassador, we are a peaceful person.
He was peaceful.
He's ambassador. We are ambassador. We are peaceful person. If you are a peaceful person, tell them here Akara Gray speaking. If you are that thing, ambassador, we are day today. He did it on a pretend. Ambassador, we don't even want to see Tomo Fala. Let me tell you the truth today. He don't want to see Akara Gray. Let me tell you the truth today. But because Akara,
that's not true.
I can go ahead now.
Yes, please go ahead. You are protected. Kev,
because Akara Gray is the chair or executive, and he needs to bring him inside. You know how long it took? He said he don't want for Akara Gray to escort him. You know how long it took? I was in the speaker office at Holy Conversation. They must find a different person to escort him. That how bad Ambassador Weah is. Ambassador Weah cannot forgive. That one can never.
So Kev, come on now, beg you, man. Kev, if I had whoever had control, will put you in the back, or you put yourself in the back because you don't want got control. Honorable Yeke, please go ahead.
So, like I'm saying, I was in the speaker office today. You know how long it took for the speaker to say we can't do nothing? Akara will have to come and escort him because he's the chair or executive. The president do not want to see Akara's way. He don't want to see Thomas Fala. That how bad that president. He don't forgive. The president now peaceful person. He there telling the Liberian people, civil servant, they are being honor pay. When you got to know civil servant honor pay? When? Like that today you got to know? Because campaign coming, we in campaign now, you want the people support? And Lord, he can carry the civil servant salary up to 500 US per person. The people will not vote for him. Even SS people behind him will not vote for him. I mean, he has failed the people. We have also failed the people because we shouldn't be allocating money in the budget. We put money in the budget for the president to travel in counties. What does he do with that money? We put $4 million in the budget for him to build a sport park. He was supposed to build a hospital all the way to the end of the FE to come. He only not build less than 11 homes. Where are we going? We can never call the president to give account anything. If the Liberian people depending on your law, anything Ambassador we are bring, we will pass it because we have failed you people. The only thing we therefore is to satisfy ourselves, our personal interest. When I say that, the person they don't like the way I talk. Our rules are very clear. It's very clear. This president is coming before us. He's not to bring cheering squad. I asked the speaker today, Mr. Speaker, and you know cheering squad not supposed to be in the house? In our chamber, he said, yeah, cheering squad not supposed to be there. I said, Guaglo, you the chair all rules and all that. You know cheering squad not supposed to be in our place there, right? Before we came to session, and now when we came to session, I raised it. And they took it for joke. They took it for joke. If I were going to get 4% to join me, we're going to boo our president.
Thank you, Honorable Koluba. We'll go to St. Tolling George.
Yeah. Okay. That reason I'm speaking, right?
Yes.
Well, okay. There's certain part of the president's speech that again, you know, like I said earlier, the opposition will do their job. They have to do their own critique and so forth. But the president, the issues that have been trending, like issues about, for instance, the issue about ledges, the census. The president, I mean, that was one of the places that I think we want to criticize about. It wasn't forthcoming, but when he said that they are making progress and they are using digital stuff, to the vice president was in charge of it. But I would have thought the president would have included, by now they would have included the outcome of the census in the speech. But then he said they are work in progress and so forth. That one of the areas that I think that needed more explanation. Issue about the Robert Street Highway, and all the Senate and the House and the Senate, they are presently questioning the contractors and so forth that highway. But when he spoke about it today, he said that they are making progress and the road is making progress and so forth. But I mean, a lot of criticism of the road. I thought we'd have heard more substantive information about what's going on, what the government is saying about the road. But President just went over it too. issue about the arms that came in the country. I think he mentioned it, but then he didn't go into detail of it. The outcome, and just to give the Liberian people the outcome or the status of that issue right now, which is very concerning. The issue about corruption. The president came strong. He said that they are putting in place, they play mechanisms in place to fight corruption. He talked about strengthening the internal auditing agency, the IAA, and that they are giving them more resources in the budget to fight corruption and to stop corruption before it happens, before it occurs. And he also talked about LSCC, that they amended the LSCC Act to empower LSCC to get them prosecutorial powers to fight corruption and so forth. But then the question would have been to, again, like I said, how much corruption cases, President, if he has said to date, my government has prosecuted X, Y cases that were on LSCC on the table. Don't forget, LSCC indicted, they have corruption issue with the agriculture minister and other minister of government. The president has said, look, my government to date, we are fighting corruption. We are prosecuting right now X, Y, Z minister and so forth. I was compelled to dismiss minister this, minister that for being on issue of corruption. I mean, he would have come stronger. I thought we would have heard that the president is really fighting corruption, but he defended that. All he said today that they are putting more money into institutions that are fighting corruption, which I thought he would have come up strong to say that, give an example to say, look, we are fighting corruption and this is what we have done. But that again, he didn't come forward with. Issue about the murders in the country, people have been dying. The president would have given update on the murder cases in the country, except the ones that have been happening, and the recent murders in some counties and so forth. He was giving some issues about it, whether the murders were, whether the update of this case, where we are with the case and so forth, but it wasn't forthcoming. And I thought he would have make that case. That but issue about these are issues that are being criticized about, corruption, so forth, about the issue about mysterious death and so forth. If he had come with concrete and more substantive information on where we are, including investigation, I'm sure he would have scored some points for it. But again, like I said, it's all president was speaking to his base, and he was really on his campaign mode, and making his case for his re-election. But what I just said, that's where the opposition need to come forward tomorrow and so forth, and try to distinguish what the president said from the reality of about what's going on in the country. But if not, if the responses are very poor, and the president will he'll run with what he said today in the counties on his tour, and he talked about projects he undertaking and so forth. But the opposition, as I said, they need to come up to respond. If they don't respond appropriately, the president will have score a point on it. So right now, wait to see what's happening, and we'll keep on watching. But let's see what happens tomorrow when opposition can.
Okay, Tomalin, thank you very much, Dr. Peabody. And then we'll go to Honorable Fargon.
You know, you Tomalin gave some very strong point. One of the things that I was wrote down today, because as I said, the speech was a little bit long, and I was struggling to understand. But one of the things that I saw him talk about, the president talk about, was spending almost $12.8 million on county tour and project implementation. You know, and he talked about how they had to spend millions of dollars, almost $17 million if I'm right, to buy COVID vaccine and all of that. And I began to wonder what happened to how much were raised from the COVID funds when people were coming in and paying money back and forth. I came in a couple of times. I was paying $150 both. I mean, to come and go, $75 to come in, $75 to go back, and that was a pretty large amount of money that was being collected. And some of those vaccine were they not free? You know, I wrote down some vaccine, but those vaccine not free. Even if we spend it, how much did you raise? How much did you spend on vaccine and all of that for the Liberian people? That was not even disclosed. You say you spent $12.8 million for county tour. That's quite a lot of money, because 2 days here or 3 days here. I mean, I saw the light poles. I mean, they put the street lights and things. That was great. But what is the breakdown on all those things? How much you spend? Because you can say going to Nimba for a day or two, or going to other counties. How many counties that came up that they came into $12.8 million or more? How many projects? What were the cost of each of those projects? So I had reservation on some thing that President talked about. The President was not just, it was just like a whole vague statement we made on what we did, what we improved, but we did not see the breakdown for 5 years. One of the things I commend him for, I commend the President for, he had right, was the dual citizenship. I commend him on that they were able to pass it. So I'm gonna give him credit. He talked about stabilizing the exchange rate, which I say I must give them credit, because it came to a point that we had that problem with the exchange rate. It was really a difficult problem that time. In fact, there were times you couldn't even find the money on the market and all of that. I remember that those days, and it was difficult. And Cemetery and others, they were able to really regulate that. Let me give them some praises here, because it was a mess. Everybody thought the country was, turning into, you couldn't find the dollar, you can't find this, the money was short, things were happening, and all of that. And the value, the Liberian dollar depreciated a lot and all of that, but they were able to bring it to something. So, in between, you got to give them some praises there. But overall, I think it was just a vague speech, not really, In fact, the President got confused sometimes when he got to certain thing and said it happened, and he had to take a break or drink some water, and oh, really, we did this and stuff like that. So, but all in all, I think the opposition have something that they could actually run on and say, because I think it was just difficult. It was a difficult 5 years for the government. Corruption continued to score high in our government, and then the issue with the Army Nation and things like that. Well, police came out and updated the country one time, and they have not said nothing else again. I think there should be like a regular weekly investigation going on to let the people know what's happening, and they have not. But so far it was what I was able to generate within that time. I didn't continue the whole speech because I felt it was too long. I felt the presentation was a little difficult and all of that. So that's mine.
Sure. So I want to kind of piggyback on what you said, Peabody, and what others have said. First, yes, I think we want to congratulate part of the president's speech, the one relating to dual citizenship. He signed that law into bill. That bill into law. So I think it is a good thing. He recognized the remittances from people in the diaspora and how it contributes to the economy. And so I think that was a good thing. But which is some of my critique of this government is that let's push this a little bit further. That when you pass dual citizenship, it requires that the citizens in the diaspora participation in democracy. So what are you doing about it? So let's further the passing of the law to say, okay, I have contacted the embassies around the world. I've spoken to airlines about how visa for external citizens, like people in the diaspora, that they will not be required because you are a citizen. So let's talk about the mechanism that you have in place to address those issues. Again, passing the law is just not enough, but a government with vision and a long-term processing government, a government that is not just giving us enticement, will then be able to further the dual citizenship to allow external citizens to go to the local consulate office or to do absentee ballot like other modern countries do. So that's one thing that I said. Yes, it's good that he did the dual citizenship, but then what's next? My second thing again relates to yes, he did allow freedom of the press. There was this the people I often say that's a plus for him. But again, to me, freedom is related to security. Freedom is related to electricity. Okay, I can come all day long and talk about my views. Am I safe going home? Do we have our security mechanism in place to fight crime for people who want to attack those that have opposing views or similar views? We saw the situation with Louis Brown, how that situation just stirred up in a matter of minutes, in matter of time. So do we have security process in place that will enforce the law to deter people from just having this jungle law abidement type situation? When I was in Liberia, we woke up 3 o'clock in the morning to someone had stolen something. The whole community was roll, beating the guy, almost killing him. And it was like mob justice. So we went out. I was scared. Actually, I didn't go out, and I kind of hauled back my team. I was like, gosh, you guys not scared to be looking at that kind of thing there? But again, there's a mechanism, a format that is supposed to be in place to say, okay, if somebody commits a crime, we call X number and let the police come out. So to me, freedom of speech, freedom of press, they all are related to electricity, how safe someone feels in the night. Mauritius shuts down at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Okay. Majority of people are afraid to walk in the street. People are saying it's too dark for me to travel. And then, of course, we need to put our security system in place, enforce the law that you already have on the books. So I also want to correct myself. I said that the debt was increased by this president. Okay. Remember, Ellen reduced the debt. A lot of countries around the world, when she first took power, they reduced our debt. When President Weah came into power, his first term, he has increased the debt. It's how much we are borrowing from other people now. Okay, just to be clear on that, how much we are borrowing. President Weah has increased that debt in his first term to $216 million, bringing our total debt to $1 billion. So just so that we're clear on this, if he continues, if he goes another term and he has to borrow $216 million, he would have exceeded. That means he would have passed how much money Ellen borrowed from the international community. Okay. And the question people are asking, I actually want to give Ava Tobai credit for this. When he used the central bank analysis and was able to post what the central bank said about the debt. If President Weah borrowed $216 million again, he would have surpassed how much Ellen borrowed for her entire 2 terms.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
So you're saying the debt right now is $1 billion, right?
A price plus over, plus $1 billion plus.
How much will you say Ellen borrowed if the president borrowed 200?
They said during her 2 terms, I think it was $335 million. Let me, and then I have James. James, are you listening? Could you please put that up? I put that in the chat room as well.
How come is if this president, if she said 300 and something, right?
And 216 times 216 kept that how much?
No, wait.
That's $432 million. That is surpassing $335 million. Just if he does the same, if he borrowed the same amount,
you say it's $1 billion, right?
Yes, that's how much was borrowed. Yeah.
So if the president, if president in
that's how much our debt is right now. This is how much our debt is.
So if the minus the 200 and something million, how much remain? Do the math. How much remain?
No, you do the math. I can do the math. What if he borrowed $260 million?
You say it's 1 billion, right? You say 1 billion. In that 1 billion, in that 1 billion. In that 1 billion, this government.
Jeff, James, could you please put this? Could you please put the graph up, please? The graph from the central bank. If you're listening to me, because Kev wants specific. Kev is in the chat room. Please look at it, and then you can ask me.
I'm going with your math right now. I'm going with your math right now. No, I'm going with your math. Take that thing from there. I'm going with your math right now. You say within that 1 billion. The president only responsible for 200 and something million, right?
Yes.
Right?
Well, I'm not saying that he's only responsible. I'm saying that that's how much he's
Yeah,
borrowed.
yeah, just a moment. Yeah. So how much remain? How much remain in that 1 billion if you take out the 200 and something billion?
Yes, the question here is, Madam.
How much Ellen responsible for it? Because
so
if you say Ellen that 300 and something million plus the president 200.
So in her first term, Ellen reduced the debt.
You talk about billion here. So if this president responsible for 200 and change million in that billion, so who borrowed the rest?
Let me clarify to you. In Ellen's first term, according to the post from Central Bank, the debt was reduced from 4.5 billion to 519 million. The debt was reduced. Okay, so remember now there was a lot of people are celebrating because the international community reduced our debt. In her second term, my Ellen increased the debt by 355 million. Okay, George Weah borrowed $216 million in his first term. If, as I said, he borrows another $260 million, he will be borrowing roughly $432 million. The question is, what do we have to show for the $216 million that he's borrowing? That is the question.
Dr. Richardson, I'm not a professor. You're the professor, right?
But man, we have our time on the show. If you want to take over the show, then let me. I got an important thing.
No,
stop. Talk, then you want to interview the moderator.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's move on.
I already said you had your time.
No, Fagon.
No, but we listened to you, Jana, for over 3 minutes.
Fagon, relax. I know what you do. Relax.
I have very important things to do.
And I know what you're doing, Jeff. You want us to distract this conversation because you're trying to ask.
1 billion. Let me tell you.
I need to analyze their speech.
No, wait now.
I got work to do.
Let me tell you. Pharmacology was one of my weakest points because you got to do with math. But you're the professor. Let me ask you.
And I'm not going to answer you. I told you from Central Bank. I already told you. I read to you that George Weah increased.
You said 1 billion. You said 1 billion.
So 1 billion.
Let people talk now. Yeke hasn't talked. Let him talk.
In 4 years, he borrowed an annual average of $216 million in 4 years. In 4 years, 216. Okay. That's what he borrowed. And so people are asking
216. Who responsible for the rest?
You do your math and figure it out. Honorable Fagon, please.
You see, that's why we don't make statements without fact checking. So you see, Fagon Wese and you're
I checked my fact, and my concern is not who borrowed previously. It's what do we have to show for $216 million? Couple of the fact that if he is elected, he is likely to borrow 216 or more. What do we have to show for that? That is my question, and I have all rights to ask that question, just like you have all rights to ask what
800 and something million remain. Who responsible for that?
Kev, I have all rights to ask my question. $216 million, President, we are borrowed. Carry our debt to $1 billion for unborn Liberian people to pay for. What do we have to show for $216 million? Right now, in one term, he will surpass what Ellen borrowed in 2 terms. If we continue with this trend, that is my point I'm trying to make. Mr. Fagon, please go ahead.
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the Liberian people will see me at my best. The best of me will be tomorrow at 11 o'clock. When I take this speech and give them facts versus fiction. 24-page document you're looking at right here. I'm only going to just touch on 4 and 5. Page 4 and 5. Just take 2 things. One for E4 and one for E5. And just give you the fact versus the fiction. Over here on page 4 to be exact, the president said the total revenue received under the period under review amounted to 445 million United States dollars. This is 35 million less than revenue collected from January to December in 2018. Now, when did we take over? We took over in 2018. If we were able to see 2018 produce 4 to 50, that's 80. 2018, when we took over, the economy was good. Hey, who said, let me talk here. Okay? Now he comes out and said it was less than 35 million less than what he collected in 2018. What does that tell you? That tells you that there was a sharp economic decline where revenue was not pouring. When did COVID start? November of 2019. So what excuse you got to give for the sharp economic decline in the revenue? You say you inherited a bad economy. But in 2018, the people paid $35 million more when you just took over. They paid $35 million more than what you collected in 2019, the whole 2019. Why is that so? Because you implemented a policy that crippled the economy called harmonization. Now, let's go forward. Kev, when I talk here, I talk with facts, not fiction. Come right here. When I told you about macroeconomics, meaning the A represents the big people, and the I, MI, represents the individual. The A is for big establishment generating all the company ArcelorMittal. He said that the Liberian dollar has undermined, that he's speaking, the income of the poor and the income of those earning in Liberian dollars. What is that supposed to mean? Simple. It undermines the income of the poor, the Liberian people in general. Then he goes on to say, inflation reduction, therefore, remains a significant goal of the government. But here is where it gets tricky. He said, the Liberian engaged the International Monetary Fund in December of last year. I hope you're listening, which resulted in the signing of a memorandum, I'm quoting him, of economic and financial policy. That's what he said. But then how does that help us? He said, consequently, the executive board of that IMF he was talking about approved an external credit facility of $213.6 million United States dollars. Shortly thereafter, that's what we are talking, and I'm talking, 23 million United States was disbursed, which means it was given. Yeah, your ticket. Under the facility of the government through the central bank. What was the goal? That he talking, I'm talking. He said the goal of the IMF supported program is to stabilize the macro with an A. Macro, not with an I, economic through more effective fiscal and monetary policy. Hold on a minute. You think we here for BBT now? What happened to the ordinary people? What happened to the ordinary people? What became of that 23 million? So again, this president goes on to say, in executing this budget, we have taken steps to control spending. He was talking about 526 million of the previous national budget. And guess what happened there? According to him, I'm going to quote him, this budget brings public spending closest to the revenue received in 2018 national budget. You see it? So he's still talking, where 2018, when we are in what? When we are in what? 2023. That's about how many years ago? And today, we got to sit down here and listen to that kind of thing. But you got to see the facts versus the fiction. The Constitution says every year, it didn't say every 5 years, Kev. Every year, when you come to report. So in 2018, when you took over January 22nd, you had to report 2019, you had to report 2020, you had to report 2021, you had to report 2022. And that's what the law said. But you can't carry way back. Like that one page I didn't weigh out. And what you said there is an indictment. And there are 24 pages. That's why I say, Kev, lead a lady, this speech that tomorrow we'll see what you put water in coconut. Because it will be facts versus fiction. And we will take it out piece by piece and tell you. You remember Dr. Peabody in closing? You know what you said, Diana? You said at some point the president was confused. I will tell you exactly where the president was confused later on. The president was confused because in an attempt to prove a point, they indicated 20, it should have been 25.8%. And that is page 5. Me, I will give you the page. The president was supposed to read it like this. And I will read it and tell you exactly where the mistake came from. However, in the last quarter of the year under review, inflationary pressure was contained, reflecting some modest appreciation in the Liberian dollar. End of period inflation was projected to fall, listen to this, from 30.6%, let's see, in May 2019 to 20.8%. You know what they put there? 25.8%. Look there, Kev. So now the president became confused. Like I read it 20.8%, but I look at 25.8% in parentheses. Which one is what now, Mr. Spokesman? How are we supposed to know that inflation dropped by what, 18%? And then you still say inflation a problem for you? When did inflation drop from 30%, double digits, to just 7%, and the people cannot see the money? They cannot see life. When did it drop? That two are talking. But he's talking, not writing what he's talking. You have the proof right here. It's on your own document. Look there, page 5.
So we got to get a good time, Dr.
You interrupted me several times. I missed calculating the time. So
just
closing statement on this speech, and then we're going to go on to.
I just playing with page 4 and 5 that are Richardson. When I play with the whole 24 pages, we will find Kev somewhere.
Okay.
So let me detail that, my brother. I want you to sleep good tonight.
We're going to have our closing comments on the speech, and then we're going to move on because we don't have that much time. We're going to move on to what Prince Johnson said today. Let's start with my brother Timberland. Timberland, you want to just give your closing remarks about?
Well,
we're going to come back when we have time.
On the president's Sona.
Jumping over me?
No, we're coming back to you. And all I'm making our closing remarks now. Yeah. So
on the president.
Go Peabody, and then you, and then I make mine, and then we move on to something else. Is that okay, Kev?
Yeah. Why you say the jumping over you?
Okay.
Well, on it.
You can't want to be fussing tonight.
No, because
I'm feeling well today. Let me just tell you.
I think she enjoying Fagon telling the tales, so she love it. So she going to another Tommy John.
Kev, this was the man for 3.5 years. I'm getting one of your people lead that story.
On the president's Sona, like I said, in fact, I would like to extend an invitation to folks from the UP, the ANC, and other opposition people. You are free to come and make give your defense of your response. If you send somebody to come tomorrow, and give your response to the president's speech. I mean, you come and give the contradictions and give to see to go through the president's Sona and give your analysis about it and your response, your criticism about it. You guys can get in touch with me, and we'll see what you guys going to get you guys there tomorrow. We can engage you guys, and you guys can give your analysis. But one important thing the president left out today, I think apparently maybe I didn't hear it because it was so long. But one of the issues of national security is of the Zogos. I don't think he mentioned about the Zogos today. I don't know, but that was an important aspect of the. I thought we would like to hear about the issue of the Zogos, what we are doing about them as a country and the government, what we are doing about them. I wish he have give us a broader view and information about what his government, what they have done over the last 5 years, and what they plan to do for the remaining 9 months, and so forth of the future. But issue about Zogos, I think, were left out, and I think that was one of the important missed opportunities the president had today to give the Liberian people updates about the Zogos in the country. But besides that, I look forward to opposition people coming forward to come and say, well, we want to come and discuss and respond, and we can engage them. But for now, as I said in my opening, depending on which side of the political aisle you find yourself, if you pro George Weah, you for CDC, you will defend. You will say it's the best speech in the world ever heard in the whole world. If you're not, you will give your criticism of it. But I thought that the president has a missed opportunity in his speech, and we got to do some fact check, and perhaps because the speech just happened a few hours, minutes we came on the show. So to do a fact checking is something that we can do, and then perhaps in the next couple of hours or the next day or so, or sometime during the week, we can fact check and give our own facts about it. But for now, the honors is on the opposition community to respond appropriately. So we're looking forward to Cummings, Boyka, and who again? Jeremiah Coon, he's a political leader now. Jeremiah Coon, Cummings, Boyka, and to give the response to, in the next couple of hours. But for now, I think on this end, we'll leave it as it is right now.
Tony, Peabody, your last thoughts?
Yes, as I said, after 5 year and 1 month, we expected to hear a lot, that the president has achieved. But, I think the speech was just too long for some of us who have ADD. to listening for 3 hours. But I think the presentation, I think they made the president's speech too long. They should have crafted it in a way that at least an hour 20 minutes would have been fine, so that the president would have been able to really present it well. I believe the presentation was poor. I believe the president was exhausted, but there were some areas that I must commend the government, that they really made some headways. I commend them. Just recently the LEC power thing, and I see Mary Broad is going around and they're grabbing those power theft. I commend them for that. I commend the president for the freedom. We sit here, we can bullet the president, say things, and we can go to Liberia and move around freely, which is a plus. I must commend the government for doing that. And also there are some areas that they made some improvement. The little feeder roads around Monrovia, they made some improvement. But overall, 5 years, I don't want to say that they've really done, did much. I really can't say that in 5 years. They've made some great strides in some areas, but the areas of corruption remain. The court system, nobody have been convicted of anything in the court system. And the security system is a little baggage for them, and other areas that they really did not make any stride. So I don't know. For me, I would say I don't know for now. I go to my old saying that my old thing I always say. At the end of the day, the Liberian people had the opportunity to listen to the president. I know it was translated into our different vernaculars and all of that. The Liberian people had the opportunity of listening, and after carefully listening, they will come up with a decision. Election is coming. And after careful listening, it will be the decision that will be totally left for the Liberian people to make. Great decision for them to make. But You know, if I were grading that speech today, I would just hold it there. I'm done. Okay. Oh, we'll go.
I was thinking about if you're grading. I was gonna say, what's your grading rubric, Dr. Peabody? You know, we professor, we have to have rubric, right? Okay. But good thoughts. Kev, you want to give your final thoughts, and then we're gonna move on to the subject of Prince Johnson before we say goodbye.
Well, let me say this quick before, and I don't want to leave my brother Fagon to go say something tomorrow, then he'll look bad. He's still my brother. This report is a summary of the 5 years, and last in his first term. More report going to come out in a second term. So if you ask him why he went back to 2018, that's why, because this one is the last one in his first term. So he gave in everything since day one. That's why he said when we get there, to our surprise, it was a rude awakening. So if you go tomorrow, you start asking, why go back to 2018? So that part you just read, I just help you there, small. Yeah, because he lost in his first term. That's why he went back. So I hope people understand. If they hear Fagon saying it, it shouldn't kind of fool our people. But hey, you know, some opposition who have a concrete mindset will just stay like that. But education sometimes is free. You can get it. This speech, Dr. Richardson, is one of the best, one of his best in my lifetime. You know, as you know, by this by all our leaders that I know in my life, best. People saying, "Oh, why it take too long?" It's because the president did a lot of stuff. That's a lot of things. In that 5 years, you take away 2 years in that 5 years, probably 2.5 years. And up to now, we're still suffering from the effect. Even America here, we're suffering from the effect of COVID. We are suffering for the effect of COVID in America here. Everybody on this platform living in America know the price is high. Even as simple as egg is high. You open your news, it's there. Like usually you smile, you know that one of the things they talk about in the news, egg. You know, we have them. We can play the recording for people in Liberia to listen to it. So when folks come on and start telling you about stuff, they're just playing politics because they know here too, folks are struggling because of the effect of COVID. We see Ghana economy is collapsing. It's coming down. You know, people, Liberian people, oh, Ghana is good, but Ghana going through hell as we speak right now. So Ghana is going through the same IMF program. That's what Ghana going to go through. They have the same harmonization that Fagon praised. He spoke about it, but now he's going against it. The tips are there. Somebody just told me that Fagon took down all his tape in all the time he was firing. Yes, true.
That person lied to you with a capital L. Fagon never retreats from his bullets he fired.
He took everything down.
No, he got changed, but he might not last somebody.
But you will be the last to close on this.
No, the Anthony close. He won't be last again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I never close. It went around.
I thought Fagon was the one that spoke.
No, they
that's
said
why I asked you.
To close.
That's
Okay.
why I asked you if you
It It was
You
my
know,
time. And
you know
Yeke
why I
called
ask
back.
if you jump
We're
in?
closing on this subject, Kev. That's what we're doing. We're closing. Everybody
now
getting the time to
closing.
close on this subject.
Everybody
No,
closing.
but
Tommy finished.
listen.
Tony finished. People that finished.
No,
I
you
give you
said-
a chance to
No,
finish.
no,
Then
you
I
said-
come in.
no,
And if I can't come in, so
No,
let's
you
finish that.
remember-
Close it up, please. It's
you
6 o'clock
remember-
already.
Wait,
You scared of me to close?
Dr. Richardson, I'm just being, you just gotta be honest. You remember when I asked you why you jumping over me? You said, "Oh, it's a closing." I said, "Okay."
No. You
No, I didn't say
interrupted
we're
her.
closing. I said
And she
everybody
said we are now
responding.
going for the closing. You will talk.
Yeah.
The talking you doing now.
No, this is my closing on this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we go
yes.
to preach
And then
just
that's
the
not the
next
fun.
topic.
No,
And
that's
then
not the
I
fun. Go to the next topic, and then we close. Finally, to close the show. That's how we do it.
So if I go already talk, why you want to give him another one again on the
We've
same
had a conversation. Why wrong
Oh,
with
you already talk. Why am I giving you another time to talk?
But why you afraid of? You talk.
No, you know why?
Yeah, you can't call
why?
it home.
You know why?
Yeah, you can't
No,
the last one
but
waiting.
can I speak to Dr. Richardson Smart and Fagon? You know why?
You afraid to talk. You scared?
No, you know why? You know why? That's why I do interrupt, because of the biasness you just did, Dr. Richardson. That's why I do interrupt. But let me go on. We can't be doing that. That's why I ask you.
Yeah, tomorrow you're welcome to moderate. You're very welcome to moderate tomorrow, please.
Dr. Richardson.
I got headache today.
We have to.
Please finish closing, Kev. Please finish closing in this topic, and then I'll close, and then Fago we'll move on to Prince.
It's not like I worry if I'm going to do that, but the reason is that we cannot be using a platform in order to score political points because it doesn't sound good in my ear. If Fagon was talking for the government, then they will say, "Oh no, Fagon, you can't talk," and that's not the country we want. The country we want is the country that I saw today, that Yeke stood up, was shouting, and the president listened to him and wait until he finished and talk. That's the country I want. The reason why we will not give this country to people because we're only friendly with somebody and give them time because they want that, because that person sounds good in their ear. No. And I say this, the harmonization, unless you live it under the rack. But Fagon was the champion of pushing the harmonization. But like I said, somebody told me he took those down because he don't want people to play them. As a matter of fact, you know what he did? He blocked me too. He don't want me to go there and bring it out. So people telling me, he said, "Man, took it down." So the reason is
that Fago you discuss you when we feeling that you say them get it time to talk.
No, that's part of my time. That's part of my time. That's part of my time.
Okay, Kev, you got a minute, and I'm specifically giving extra time because you are here accusing me of not giving you time when I know that I don't interrupt you, and I'm letting our audience and our viewers see that you are just talking. Nobody interrupting you, and then you the same person.
You're doing that now.
And the same person will come back, and then you accuse us or accuse me as the moderator of not allowing you to talk. So please, you have 1 more minute. It is 6:05. Panelists, please let us indulge Kev for another 1 minute. Let us give him time.
You're doing that now. What I'm saying is that I don't think we should want to listen to somebody because they sound good in our ear. But when I listen to my brother Fagon say he will scatter his speech, I don't know, unless he tried to feed into the opposition, which is good for that. Give them red meat, like what he said. Why the president going to 2018, knowing that this is the last state of the union? He knows that. Fagon know what he's talking about. That the president was going from the day one he entered office to now. That he's sending there going the constitution.
Kev, it is 6:05. I apologize. I have to cut you off. Thank you.
But Dr. Richardson, when you were talking, the minutes were good. But again, let me say this, Dr. Richardson.
Kev, I don't think I can do anything.
Yeah, you let the man talk. How many times is gold, Kev?
I give you extra 1 minute.
Yeah.
You're still asking for more time. I don't even know what you want me to do.
I don't want you to feel that I'm doing, because you know I'm good at giving people what they deserve.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
Let's continue.
Okay, let's continue. So I'm going to close. We're going to close. I'm going to finish, make a final word very briefly, and then we're going to move on to the next topic because we don't have a lot of time. I want to talk about the economy in the context of something that I said, because I want Liberian people to hear me well and hear me good, okay? I want to give credit to Ava Topa, who I saw this on his post, and he spoke about the economy based on what he saw from the Central Bank of Liberia posting. He said that Liberia is going to be in debt to our children. He didn't really quite say it, but it's what is, I'm paraphrasing and filtering it through my process, of $1 billion plus that this is where we currently stand, and it is going to be the burden of our children and unborn children in our country. All right, we have borrowed $216 million, and my point is, if he continues, so let's say next term, if he is elected and he borrows another $216 million, that is going to bring him up to $432 million. This is going to exceed how much Ellen borrowed. Okay, and the other question that I have.
Seriously?
Wait, I'm not done. Please do not interrupt me. The another question that I have is, at this stage in our country's development, what do we have to show for all this money? What are that Ellington? What are that George Weah? What do we have to show for the money that we are borrowing? Is the question that any decent and loving Liberian should be asking. I'm not just asking about George Weah government taking money, even though I'm concerned that if he gets elected, he's going to exceed what Ellen borrowed. But I'm concerned about our overall debt that we are passing on to our children and unborn children, unborn generation. So that's what I'm concerned. And also I'm concerned about what do we have to show compared to other countries in the region. Next, let me go to the speech and give my thoughts on that. I hope I'm clear enough, Kev. My speech, there was some good points. I'm moving on, Kev. I'm moving on. Kev, I'm moving on. You acting as if any government was the only government. You don't know that we had other governments before that raised the debt? Okay, I'm moving on. That have debt anyway, and any debt was reduced by the international community. So I'm moving on. What I'm going to say is that dual citizenship was good. The law the president passed was good. Okay, recognizing diaspora community, like I said in my previous comment, was good. However, my problem and my greatest critique of this government and President Weah and others, are you listening? You and your lieutenant, move forward, push the ball further. Do a complete analysis of your laws that you pass. If you pass dual citizenship, look at all pros and cons and all angles. This is what a fair assessment does. Okay, that's what an assessment and analysis of what you are doing do. If you're going to pass a Kamara Act, freedom of the press, look at the intersectionality of your passing of freedom of the press, freedom of speech. How does that relate to safety, electricity issue? How does that relate to security? Don't just pass a bill to entice other people. I have this concern, and I will say it all the time. Liberians, you have heard me. A president to put $150 million in the budget under the disguise or under the heading of PSIP, okay, public sector investment plan or public sector investment program, that he can use at his own discretion. The president can say, I want $10 million from $152 million. I will go do county tours. You know, I just think there's something wrong with that. There's some legality relating to that, you know, that the House of Representatives approved $10 million for him to go on these tours in the name of him getting elected, because it says in the budget that this is election fund for him. Okay, does that puts the other people who are running against him at a disadvantage because they don't have that kind of resources or money. So there's something that is just not adding up about that to me. Lastly, I want to say, like Timothy said, I encourage the Unity Party to give the rebuttal. We'll be discussing that here. I encourage Mr. Cummings, we know, will be giving his rebuttal tomorrow or his response to the speech tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So we welcome, and we'll be discussing the speech here even more. Mr. Falcon, could you just give us a few final words, and then we're going to go on to what Prince Johnson said the day before we leave.
Well, the president spent almost, I don't know, a minute on power theft. When we saw Mary Broad jacking, all the top officials and wired them down. So, Kev, by the way, my videos are still up. If you remember when Sedition said they should carry me on the sycamore tree, it was for harmonization. I was sitting on the deck in West Virginia when I made that video, dressed in a blue shirt, khaki pants. Go back and check my records. It's there. Everything I've ever said, I'll never take it down. So, but let me go to the actual thing. I'll take you to page 6. And all the pages there, like 4, 5, 6, 9, I just take it smooth from inside. Not plenty that tomorrow will take up plenty. Let's go to page 6, Kev. The president said, and I'm quoting the president, the harmonization exercise was necessary to ensure that the government lived within its means. Have the government lived within its means? The president came and made a budget of 500 and change. The president cut the people money and carried the budget to 740 now. Is that living within your means? You say, look, I can't handle that thing, it's too expensive for me. I cut your money. Okay, you cut the people money. Then what you did? The budget you say you couldn't handle, you carry it to 740 million, right? Then the poor buying rice, $15, it's almost $25, right? They were buying gas, $3.50, and at $5.20 now. They were making $250, and they're making $60 now. Yeah. But you see the definition he gave, the reason he gave for harmonization? It's right here on page 6. Last but not the least, he said during this process, we discovered that more than 25,000 public workers were paid from a general allowance that had no particular grading system. Now, they told you the story about that 25,000. The 25,000 were not civil servants. I was the spokesperson of the government. Let me repeat so you can hear a cuckoo. They were not civil servants. That was one of the mistakes the CDC government made. Instead of allowing everybody to go and take the civil service test, they left the 25,000 people that they did not bring. They only made them there and rolled them into the government system. You didn't know that. I'm telling you that now. For example, he continued, I'm quoting him. A secretary in one ministry or agency could be paid $400, while another secretary with the same level of skill or education in another ministry would be paid $1,500. We saw that with our own eye.
Before Kev come.
No, I'm wrapping up now. So, if you did harmonization since 2019, why is the Security Administration of Finance making $250, and the Securities and Information Ministry making $45 as the evidence proving to you? Why? You know why? You will know why. Because these are some of the things we come and blow here. But people are not stupid. Go ahead, Dr. Francie.
Yes, thank you.
Let me just add one thing before we go. The president made a comment today that during certain time in Liberia, I don't know what time is it, that you can't ride a certain car and government official then ride that car. I don't know what that's coming from. Is that a political? What kind of job is
no,
that?
that one part, the president part. I think the president. I think he. What how do you call that one? But that one that not true because You and I have lived Dothan, we live Terotan, we live Ellington. It never happened before. We never saw where you have an open car.
Somebody say waiting for opposition.
You see, so
No, but but I'm honest. You know, but I mean, but Bagon, the opposition won't get a response. But on that issue where people are raised, you know that one not true.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that, and I think that could further divide the country for this Congo and country thing. I don't think the president should be feeling that kind of message. I really don't think so.
I agree. So let's move on to our next topic today, our last topic for the day, and then we're going to say goodbye to all of you. We're thankful that you are here watching us. Tomorrow we'll have more conversations on the president's speech. It is such a powerful speech, considering that it may be his last speech. So we do have the written version of the
I'm gonna give you one gossip.
Yeah, go ahead.
The president said he will intensify his fight on corruption.
Sorry, I gotta laugh to the gossip.
On page 6. If you see that on premiere no more.
Okay. Wow. So tomorrow we'll be looking on a lot of we'll be actually reading from it. Maybe we'll dissect parts of it and give it to James. I think that would be a good thing, so we can just talk from the facts. But we do know that it was a long speech for the attention span. Usually a man attention span is about 30 minutes or less, give or take more. So people were worried about that. People are worried about that he's using the speech as a campaign speech, and according to Honorable Koluba, is not supposed to be like that in the chambers. It's not supposed to be like that at all. But let's give our thoughts about Prince Johnson's comments. I think it was made in his church when he was preaching on Sunday. I don't know. Good day, are you watching me? Good day, play the clip. I hope that you can remember what you saw. The senator spoke about a myriad of issues. He talked about.
While I don't like your sister, let me ask you one question. Go ahead. If I had a gun right now and gave you to shoot your own head, or if you had a gun, when you shoot your head, what will happen to you? You are dead. Can you shoot yourself on the head 3 times? So what happened in Tabitha? They lie. Why can I sign your agreement? Do you believe I thought of some regime? Yes, sir. Do you believe that the revenue officials, top people, beautiful cars, both of them married and left their wife and husband home, and they were called to review something that ended up in their death. And they come and say they were in a car having sex. Is there no hotel on Broad Street? If not, why don't you go to Hampton Column? Do you believe, church librarians, that they were truly in a car having themselves? I would say it's a lie. As a man of God, ordained by God to preach the gospel of truth, I cannot background to go and sign the agreement. There are many reasons, and we'll go on and on. My wife, my beautiful wife, uncle, son, Lamo, and 2 others were sent for by St. Moses, and allegedly killed them and said they drowned. No investigation. Nothing happened. Princess is from our home. They killed her, put a body in our compound. No investigation. Sorry, regime. The people's pastor. I I see these things. I do my own security analysis. I've been trained by the West and locally 36 years of training. I see these things. It's too glaring. It's too glaring to say somebody took money and fired himself 3 times. It's too glaring. What will encourage me if I even wanted to serve? Is it money? No. So those who are talking, Prince Johnson is just talking so can get him money to laugh.
Okay, we got an opportunity to see Prince Johnson's comments about Saul. I believe he was referring to the president as Saul, but you guys can correct me. So we'll start with you, Honorable Fagon, and then we'll go to Timothy George, and then Peabody, and then Kef Hassan, and then of course I will do my closing.
Also, the closing finally now
on this issue,
on Prince Johnson issue.
Yes.
You know, I wish I could just laugh, because you see, when I talk about the senator's playbook, the same way I introduced the political cartel in 2017, I introduced the Southeastern Company in 2022. And we were talking here the other day, but this is what Prince Johnson said to that effect. You know, when Fagon talks, there will always be credibility because of what I say. When I got the call that day, I was only doing my job. And Fina wanted me to just tell the people an EPS officer killed himself. I wouldn't do that. But Prince Johnson here tells you, getting a Vivek account. Can a man shoot himself in the head 3 times? No. And it brings us to the point. One police officer was killed in Granjira on the mines. Another EPS officer around that time is said to have committed suicide. But having said that, Dr. Francine, Prince Johnson talked about the auditors. Each one of their accounts, you were hearing him say, they lie. They lie. He talked about the 3 boys that were allegedly killed. And I think his wife, nephew among them. He talked about Princess Copper. And he tells the government lie. He says, even if I wanted to sign, will I sign? But he said these words. I did my own security analysis. I was trained by the West. What does that tell you? This is not an ordinary person talking. This is the commanding officer, Field Marshal, General of a military army that was very powerful. So he still has intelligence from his men who are now working with city police, government police, the military, and so forth. Even the EPS, some of the guys are there. So I will close on this note. The president touted peace and justice. What the president forgot to know is that the mysterious deaths, the circumstances leading to deaths, the unsolved murders, the unsolved quote-unquote killings, homicide, and what have you, remains hanging on his government's neck. And if a well-known security man, military man like Senator Prince Johnson, who served 12 years as chairman on the intelligence, defense and intelligence committee. 12. It's serious. But Kev, if Lofa does not vote for you, and Bonkante does not vote for you, and Nimba does not vote for you, Magibi and Monserrato and Maryland, before I say Grand Basso and River says, pack your bags. Pack your bags. It's not looking too good. Because Nimba alone, I submit. I don't want to go further.
Thank you.
The pressure up.
Thank you. Tomale, and then Cap.
I listened to Senator Johnson's sermon yesterday. After that, I had a long talk with his political leader of his party, Senator Kuhn, and all I can say is that yesterday Senator Johnson accused the Liberian government of murder. He openly accused them, and the government should respond to it because he came out and gave a description of everything. That's an accusation that he made against them. But with what he said yesterday in his sermon, it is now getting because I always said that he's inconsistent. But after I talked to the political leader of his party yesterday, it was made clear to me that they are gone. He said, "We are gone. We are not going to be part. We are not going to support President. We are re-election." So it is clear. Take us by the word. And I was shocked, though. I was shocked because I said, but when he spoke to me, he said, "It's clear. We're not going to support the president. We are re-election. We are gone. We will be part of the election process of 2023." And then when I also saw got a copy of the letter, the statement from the MPP guy. But the funny part about that statement is that the guy is attacking. He's calling on the vice president and the chairman of the party to disengage with the CDC for the program of February 4th. So the CDC is in a tough situation, and I don't know whether they can.
My brother, they put them gone.
I don't know whether they can win Nima without President Johnson's support, and especially the MDR. They are major components in that. I don't know, but again, too, and then one thing they said they are in serious talk with the UP and the ANC, the leaders. So a lot of things taking place, happening. As I told you guys, will be happening around this time. We see people be doing a whole different stuff will be going on. But it's getting interesting every day. And whether the CDC can win the election with all these guys' help, we don't know. But if MPP is still not willing to join them, they're still making demands that the leader should disengage from any discussion or any planned program of the president renomination. It's a serious thing, though.
How about LPDP? Talk about that one.
LPDP, I talked to one of the officials last week, and he said that they were on the same of them. But again, too, all these things it comes down to money, because in the first term they were promised, they had an agreement, promise and so forth, and I think the CDC reneged on it, so they're not going to go that route again. So right now they're not talking about jobs. I know a president made an appointment over the weekend. Bringing one of the guys, he made Governors Commission chairman, guy from Nima. Whether that will help, but they say it doesn't matter still. They're not going to listen to that. But again, we're going to see a lot of things happening in the coming weeks in the political arena. I know the UP, the ANC, and the officials, they're all having their own separate discussion with different players and so forth. But it will be an interesting election. And I'm still doubtful that anybody will win the first round in this election. I know CDC said we'll win the first round, but I'm still doubtful about it. And I'm looking forward to see what will happen. Just that we'll discuss further on this thing, but during the week, I'm sure we'll discuss it further. But because of time, we'll stop there. But hopefully we'll discuss more on this President Johnson issue and what's happening in the political arena. So for now, I think I will stop there.
Thank you. Kev?
You see, the reason some of us are really hardliner and some of us will never compromise with a certain people because of this mindset of I will destroy Liberia so long I'm not there again or I'm not their friend again. Same people who were talking against Prince Johnson and now talking for Prince Johnson. People who took names, went down to DC, say they collected 300,000 signatures for war crime, for Prince Johnson name. The opposition who went down to DC and gave congressmen names of Prince Johnson and others, now talking for Prince Johnson and now say, oh yeah, you're not supporting. So Prince Johnson, when he support George Manawia, he's a criminal. He should face war crime. He against George Manawia, he's a revolutionary. It's the people. I remember on the show, my dear brother Tommy George asked Prince Johnson where nobody. From somewhere. Hello? You can hear me? You can hear me?
We hear you, we hear you. Go ahead.
Because noise was coming from your end, Tommy. A lot of noise. So my brother Tomlin asked Prince Johnson on the show, where do body? And he condemned Prince Johnson when he sanctioned Prince Johnson. My brother Tomlin said, George Manawia, it will be a mistake if you go beside Prince Johnson. He said it will be a mistake. He shouldn't campaign. He shouldn't go close to Prince Johnson. The opposition says it's a mistake. The Americans will come down. Now they're praising Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson now talking about death of people that I feel that we should not be talking about people want to go back and open the wounds of those family. And now folks are saying Prince Johnson. When the opposition folks realize that Prince Johnson is saying the truth of people who die and killing people, when the opposition realizing that it was Prince Johnson saying the truth about the council robber and all that. Since when? Since when? Since when you realize that Prince Johnson is a hero? I remember my brother Tomlin said Prince Johnson raised somebody here in Nimba, he lost. So Prince Johnson no more. Since when you realize Prince Johnson the hero? So because Prince Johnson announcing against George Manawia, so you're for Prince Johnson now? You see how these people carry Liberia? You see how they're pushing Liberia to that limit? You see how they're pushing Liberia? We cannot allow, we cannot allow, and that's why the people will vote this president in, because they can smell and they can see and they can feel the political hypocrisy in high places. I can't believe Now people are now saying, Prince Johnson, you the guy. Prince Johnson, you the guy. Why folks who discredit Prince Johnson go out for the president to not even go close to Prince Johnson? Threatening the president if you go close to Prince Johnson, and now saying, oh, CDC, you ain't have whatever because Prince Johnson not friendly with you. I thought you're supposed to come and say this.
Okay, Kev, just wrap it up a little bit, please.
Listen, I don't want to do the same thing to you, man. We gotta check everybody's time. I get 1 point something minute left, but you always cut me off. I check. I do it.
You start at 6. You start at 6:30. Just so you know. I'm checking you.
No. Tommy did a little over 5 minutes. I check it.
That's why I'm telling you, wrap it up because you started at 6:30. You started at 6:30, 6:36 right now. That means you have 6 minutes. Coming there 5 minutes. You have 1 more minute more than.
But let me say this to you, to y'all, especially y'all who the ANC who took Prince Johnson down to DC. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. You don't want you want to get voices to people now because anything against George Manuel Weah, even to sleep with the devil, you will sleep with the devil.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kev. We have to move on.
That's wrong.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna just give my thoughts about Senator Prince Johnson's sermon that he gave. I think it is clear that he was referring to Weah as Saul. He did not see Weah as a crisis leader, which if you go back into the Bible, and I'm leaning on just being my husband's a deacon, so just leaning on some of his thoughts. If you go back to the Bible, you will see that Saul was not a crisis leader. He is not taking leadership. He referred to Weah is not taking leadership in investigating the deaths of Liberians, the auditors, the boys that passed away, Princess Cooper. And to take leadership of those things, the president will not just depend on autopsies. Okay? Autopsies are done by pathologists. It tells you the cause of death. Sometimes many of our autopsies that have been given has been inconclusive, but it doesn't tell you the security aspect. Okay? It doesn't give you a forensic timeline as what happened. It doesn't tell you, for example, we hear Prince Johnson is giving a common, interesting, logical answer to a person cannot shoot themselves in the head 3 times. This is what we need, a security assessment to be able to answer such question. We hear that people say that the auditors, Princess Lama, Gifty Lama, died in her car of carbon monoxide. But we know sometimes that carbon monoxide does not kill people in an open space except if the muffler is jammed. Okay, usually in this country, people die of carbon monoxide when they put the car on and sit in their garage. It's an enclosed space. In Liberia, people die. We had a fresh case. I remember a very widely spoken about case when somebody redirected their generator tube into the house, and the people began to inhale the carbon monoxide, and that's how they passed away. So we need more. Let's go again. My critique of this government. Let's go the extra step. Do not just rely on those autopsies report. I want this president to be a leader of crisis to address the lack of medications in our hospital. I don't come and tell us I built 3 hospitals, I built 14 hospitals. Let's talk about the mechanism, the functioning, how these hospitals are working in concert with nurses, doctors, medication, instrument, electricity. All of those things are valuable assets to running a hospitals. Be a leader of crisis to address the economy so that people can get jobs to be able to send their children to school. Don't say we harmonize people pay when we know that that is not quite what happened. I read a recent report that said that they couldn't even find people that the government had on the payroll system. Okay, people did not show up when they went to go do an analysis to see all the names that was on that report to increase our budget, and we'll probably discuss this article more. So be a leader, an innovative leader that will be able to talk about jobs, jobs, the economy, the agriculture, low-hanging fruits job for our country so that people can be able to find money to send their children to school. like so, I would say stop relying on your own opinion, pompousness, what you think about yourself. Sometimes go to the wisdom of God. Okay, reflect and ask, how can I make Liberia better? Don't look for one person making the country better for one person, developing fame for one person, but how can the 5 million people in Liberia be better? I want to just add up by saying, yes, this show, we try to impart information to the Liberian people, and ultimately they will make their own decision. And that's why we're here, to provide information. We give our own opinions. It is up to Liberians now to dissect it and make it the way that they want to make it. And ultimately, we Liberian, we can no longer say the Liberian. We Liberian because now we have citizenship to go to Liberia and make a difference. All right. So we will continue to respect the rights of others. We will continue to talk. We'll continue to respect the welfare of others and give the information as we see it. And that is my closing. Right now, anybody have the opportunity to say 1 or 2 words before we leave?
Yes. Just before we leave, let me say this. I extend invitation to the UP folks, the ANC folks, the opposition folks who want to respond, want to use occasion to come and discuss the president's speech. Reach out to us, and we'll give you opportunity to at least engage the Liberian people and give your analysis and a response. And just to close again, over the weekend I just want to extend my I was with my friends, my childhood friends. We buried one of our friends' dad in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's why we drove there and we had fun. But it was a fun occasion, but also a solemn occasion. To my friend Ahmed Krumah Appel, to Charles Milton Myers and Prince Brick Thompson, and Perry, and all these people, folks that are my Connecticut friends. We had a nice time in our Airbnb. We had a nice time over the weekend there, and on a solemn occasion. But I want to say best wishes to you guys, and we hope we can get together on a more happier occasion than what we had the weekend. But just again, I had fun with you guys. It was nice seeing you guys, and God bless.
Careful, go, because I won't get any chance. I don't want interruption.
Oh, you can go, man. You can go.
All right. Let me say this to the CDC folks. All of the things that happen, our records are clear. We're not even ready yet to bring it outside. They did it all. CDC was advised against these things. The other day I was on here, I used the word macro and micro. And I did so to remind to us specifically that the people are the ones to focus on. But he come back again with macro, with an A. So they and their friends and their families have ran a government for 6 years. All I have to say to them is this. If you cannot win Lofa County, you cannot win, and I want to be able to give numbers. Let's take 2017 as a showcase. The census not out yet. If you look at the 5 most powerful counties, and I sat in front of the sedition and asked the sedition, can President Weah win Monserrate? And they said to me, honestly, no. Can President Weah win Magidi? You say no. Can President Weah win Lofa? You say no. Now that Nimba, PYJ is not Nimba, but Nimba goes where PYJ goes because they know what's good for them. If you cannot win Nimba, that's 4. Come down to Bong, which is the stronghold of the NPP. I watched the vice president sit down on the separate thing after the post said go, asking what he has done for us in his last 6 years. Then come back to us and ask us for vote. That video is there today of us sitting down on the separate thing. It happened last year. If you cannot win Bong, hey man, I look at the Bassa belt. Grand Bassa, for example, the two senators there are from Liberty Party. And that's the Liberty Party stronghold. Even though Charlene is having problem with Nyombli, Charlene is supporting, in my opinion, the CPP Unity Party folks. So if you don't have Charlene on your side, you don't have Jonathan Kaipe, the senator, you don't have Nyombli Kanga, the man that Nyombli Kanga beat by 2,000 votes, you dumping out of, yes, Besonga Finley, you dumping out of your government ever since, and have not even said, Papi, hello. You don't even know he from nowhere. This is a man and Nyombli that split the vote. So if Bassa goes, then you have to look at the Bassa belt to me, River says, and them. Go back. Come on, we said, I'm not your man. Jonathan Seboy, I'm not your man. Wellington G. Von Smith, I'm not your man. And are the people that took the votes in that area. The question then becomes, with what has happened in the Western cluster, can you win this election? CDC will be lucky if they come second, because there's no way they will come first. They will come second. And if they come second, everybody will see the whole. It will be like you bleed blood in the ocean and the sharks are around. It's finished. So I'm deeply worried for the CDC. And if my analysis is wrong, then good luck to them. But from the senator's playbook, look at all the senators and think about the counties at stake and whether they support George Weah. I think George Weah is in hot water, seriously. And I respectfully submit on that note.
Thank you, Kev. Final, wrap it up for us and then we can go home.
When you mix up with your own understanding and you try to imagine, Robert Nestor Malley said, your vain imagination. If you lean on your own understanding, and sometimes have a vain imagination, and you get yourself to feel that what you're saying is true. What you're saying is true. You're saying, Honorable Nato Magay, that Bassa belt, that Magibi. You're saying, your eyes saying that you're saying the president will lose Magibi. Hey, man. We should play that again for you. Your own friend, Honorable Natal Magay, which about a month or 2 or 3 ago, on your own platform, you was talking about Natal Magay, your own friend on that Magibi, and you were saying,
so Magay, Joanna.
Hey, man. Hey, man, please.
Protecting Kev. Mr. Honorable Falcon, let's protect Kev. You finishing. Tomorrow we got another day. We'll come back. Please, I beg you.
Kev, you real funny girl.
Dr. Richardson.
Let's protect Kev, please.
You are protected. But we strong.
Thank you.
You see Fagon, when you witness the arrival of McGill, what you saw CDC. You saw the picture with McGill and the president on a banner. You saw the CDC barrettes. This man looking at thing that he's saying, and he's saying something. And Dr. Richardson, you know medically what that means, right? When you saying something, Fagon is saying the banner with the president McGill. He's saying the beret in on that Kakata Magibi, that place. He's saying that you're saying sedition coming out there. He's saying different things. And you know what I mean, Dr. Richardson? People who can see something and say it's not there. That's an issue. I think my brother Fagon is going close to that issue, that he's saying things that is not there.
Okay.
I don't want to call that name, bro. He's saying things that is not there. How can you see?
The president told Magdalene to put a picture on 18.
How can you see?
Please get protect Kev. Tomorrow, I beg you, tomorrow you will come. We'll finish up. We'll finish up our opening comments. Those would be a great place for you to add your thoughts. Kev, go ahead. 6:40, Kev. You started at 6:47.
All my guild driving back from Bon County. Maggie went to Bon County. Maggie running in Bon County, but we saw sedition came out. Why will someone saying stuff and acting like it's not there? There's some medical terminology for that, and I think my brother Fagon really need to check himself because
okay, Kev, we remember how we've been professional towards others on the platform now.
No, seriously, it's getting. You talk about.
Stay careful. We can't. You know what we're talking about.
You talk about. Let me finish. You talk about Charlene. Charlene is not on the Unity Party side. No, Charlene is on the Musa Ability side. So go again. Wrong. So when you
and who's that Musa Ability on?
Musa Ability like Unity Party. So when you go, you see the problem.
Okay.
Dr. Richardson, you see, because I'm not going further now. I'm just leaving right here. You see what I'm talking about? This man saying Musa Ability as a Unity Party is something I do not.
I heard you say CPP. Am I not?
No. When I said he said Charlene is on the Unity Party CPP side.
Oh, okay.
So I asked, I said, no, it's on the Musa Ability side. He said, what side Musa Ability on?
Opposition.
Okay.
That's the issue. That's the issue there. So
Charlene in opposition, she not for you.
When he coming with all those things.
Tomorrow, I beg you. Tomorrow.
When he coming with all those things. You understand? When he coming with all these things, when he coming with all this thing, because right now, by the way he talking now, it now made me weak. Then I need to call him behind the scene. You know,
thank you for getting weak. All right, Kev, Kev is weak now to continue. Tomorrow you can join us.
That's something not right.
We'll have a spirited conversation. Come back to Mr. Fagon will have some substantial rebuttal to what his brother Kev is saying. We'll be discussing more in detail the written aspect of the speech. We'll have it cut up and put up here by James Goodday. We will also welcome, as Simile is asking, for oppositions to come and give their views. You can come, Mr. Kuhn can come from the Prince Johnson MDR party. Someone from ANC can come. We welcome you. Someone from Unity Party can come and give your views. We welcome you. And anyone who wants to strongly reflect on the president's speech will be greatly and welcome and appreciated. So on that note, I'd like to tell you guys, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here, taking your time to be here and engaging in the conversation by commenting. So good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The CEO stand with the spoon, and your boy Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
Well, that's our love to bring to an end of today's broadcast. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow by the grace of God, 8:30, when the entire crew will be here on Spoon FM on the program Spoon Talk. My name is Byron Brown. Do have a God bless night from Liberia.
I'm gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Africa. Just to spoon.